Another mass shooting here in America. I'm about to play a song by Michael Jackson. Listen, I'm nobody. I do TikTok because it's a hobby of mine. I do TikTok because I felt driven to do it by the grace of God. I don't even know how I got this far, and they're trying to flag my account because of our intellectual deep conversations. The over censoring here in America is just kind of amazing to me. We're in a country where you're supposed to have freedom of speech, yet I feel that's been really infringed by all of these codes of ethics, pertaining to having to fit the status quo. I've learned so much from here. I can't thank you enough. I remember this morning I woke up like I usually do in my wonderful Tempur-Pedic bed, which isn't that soft, just so you know. Tempur-Pedic beds are supposed to be like really squishy. I spent $4,000 for this bed. It's still hard. I don't know what's going on with my back. It's got a bad side. But anyway, I always wake up to the news because I just give a damn. Like, that's it. I just care. I don't know. This is my mid-30s. I just rather know what's going on with the world because I don't know. Everybody is just in danger at this point. We can't go to the mall. We can't go to the freaking grocery store. I mean, think about that. We can't even go get our groceries. And to top it off, because as if our country needs any more icing on crap, this is racially driven and posted on social media and gloated about a manifesto saying, he's a white supremacist, as if that gave him an excuse to take people's lives. Listen, if you're a white supremacist, why does that have to mean that you have to kill black people in order to be just that? Think about that for a minute. Like, you can't just enjoy the privilege of being a part of the dominant race in order to solidify that type of superior complex. You got to take people's lives, and this young kid, 18 years old's life is over. It's over. Can we normalize letting people know at young ages that when you take a life or lives, you will also lose yours, one way, shape, form, or another? I do believe in rehabilitation, but I just don't think you can really rehabilitate somebody who makes such a malicious decision to go to one of the most peaceful places in the world, and kind of boring, to be honest. Nobody wants to go grocery shopping. And if you do, you're just weird, okay? Or you can go grocery shopping from me, okay? A grocery store. Let me read your guys' comments. I'm just amazed, I'm going to keep doing this until TikTok gets rid of me. And I'll still have another account. So please always look for me, The Andrea Show, if anything happens. Because I care. I use my mad black woman energy to bring forth awareness. So it's kind of amazing to me. You can't put a label on a deranged person. Is this somebody sticking up for an insane? I'm not understanding you, hidden underscore Cisco. Not understanding there. 4 out of 5 mass terror events are perpetrated by African Americans in America. What does that have to do with this 18-year-old boy named Christopher Gramaglia going to a place, right? And creating a crime, a hate crime? Like, are you really going to use, my loves, whataboutisms? Like, you guys know I do the tacky of the day. That's the tackiness of today. You get a tacky stamp. That is tacky to use whataboutisms when people just lost their lives, even white people. He shot 13 people, and some of them were white. But yet you're trying to demonize black people in this country in order to give this kid a pass. That's white privilege right there. And that's really unfair, and it's very unkind to not even consider the people that lost their lives just because of the color of the skin. Sink that in. Like, this grocery store in Buffalo, New York was targeted because it was in a black community. So what is your point? Because I don't see it. He apologized to the whites he killed. Are these trolls? Or did he really do that? And how did he do that? I mean, I don't understand that. They want to distract us and divide us while they take our rights. Who? 864 Savage. Who? This was an individual act of hate. Surprised they didn't teach a hymn like Dylan and take him to something. BK, I don't know what that is. What's amazing to me is that they found this guy at his house. And like he's just in court, like going through due process. Do you think a black man, if he just did what he did, would be able to walk every day, eat every day, live every day? I mean, black men can't even drive in their car for a little regular traffic violations without getting shot. This kid is literally going through due process. So he's going to be able to have an attorney. God forbid it's another Kyle Rittenhouse situation where the public can give money to the defendant. You guys, I can't. Hustle or Drawn said, "This is my city. I was 4 streets over and heard the first shots." Wow. I would love for you to come here after I'm done reading some of your guys' comments and let me know what that was like. I bet it was terrifying. And I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. I do this because I love all you guys. It's like I can't get emotional because I really want to be professional about this, but it's just like, I love you guys. I don't care if you're white or black. I love you. I know that sounds sappy, but I walk in this world every day loving everybody. And I come home and I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Because this life is so short. And these kids are killing people and themselves, and everybody's killing everybody because of this stupid thing called gun culture. We want to listen to music again and not worried about dying. Las Vegas Strip, the deadliest mass shooting in our country on American soil. We want our kids to go to school and not worry about dying. My state, Connecticut, Sandy Hook. A whole, 20-something kids, teachers, dead. They didn't even start their life. And you know their faces. 57 women die a month. I give you guys statistics, but it's just like they just continue. The media continues to perpetrate this idea that condolences and thoughts fixes freaking the gun crisis epidemic that's in our country. We need to freaking start coming together. And we need to make sure that red flag laws are pushed, because they said this guy was talking about this on Thursday. This happened on Saturday. Sorry, my phone needs to be charged. Unfortunately, I have to let go of my mic. But I'm going to listen to you guys now. Even though you guys sometimes think I don't listen to you. It's freaking ridiculous. It's got to stop. That's my whole point. And when? And who's in charge? I mean, why are we allowing this to continue to happen? Because you guys just want to protect the gun. I'm telling you. And rhyme it with fun in songs. I don't get it. But let me read your guys' comments. You guys have to step away for just a second. Don't go anywhere. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And then I need to start my day. And that rhyme too. It's like I feel like guilty of even... Oh, my mic wasn't even plugged in. I feel guilty of even going out and feeling the sun today, because I'm just like, dang, like these people were going grocery shopping and their life is over. Like, do not take your life for granted. And some of them, did you guys watch the video? I have it, but I'm not going to post it on TikTok. They're trying to get rid of me, y'all, because of our crazy conversations that we be having together. It's just dysfunctional family. We are a dysfunctional family, but we are family. You know what I'm saying? Whether you love me or hate me, I want you to know that I freaking care. I don't do this for clout. I don't do this for likes. I do this because I enjoy having this type of platform where we're talking, we're trying to figure it out so that we can vote for people in the office that are going to get after the lobbyists that are funding these political politicians, go after the manufacturers that are creating more guns. We don't need more guns in this country, more guns in this country than people. 398 million for. How about all the ones that aren't counted for? Wait,
Hey,
you,
what's good?
you again.
Yeah, how you doing, girl?
I'm all right, but I'm doing something serious. Another mass shooting. I'll talk to you later. Um, some little friend that we comes up on here. Um, Liberals, no. This isn't a liberal or this isn't a political thing. This is a societal thing. We don't have a gun crisis. We have a people crisis. Yes, we do. When they're using guns, they're using the tools. If you don't have a gun, you're just a crazy person. These are crazy people with guns. Okay? Okay. No, no. That's the problem in America. This is the problem. Is that it's not the guns. It can't be the guns. But yet the guns are being used over and over again, massively, to kill people. They're like, well, the shotgun is killing more people, but the freaking assault rifles are freaking taking out a whole freaking grocery store of people. You see the difference? A gunshot might pop off on somebody, but these AR-15s, whether you want to say it's assault rifle or not, and I know a shotgun could be assault rifle, I don't care about the style of your gun obsession. What I care about is the mere fact that you care more about guns than human lives. You know, why would you want to get rid of guns if they're killing black people? 13% of the population. If you are for guns more than human life, you are part of the problem. Hello. Hello.
Hi. Oh, I didn't know
Hi.
you were talking to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think you're a really nice person. I think you're just really emotional and you're not looking at this like
Okay. So let me tell you this. One, who are you, my dear, to tell me how to react after I woke up and watched people be massively killed? I literally saw the video. I have it in my phone.
yeah, I think that made you
Like,
too
you're
emotional
lucky. No, no,
to
no, no.
think.
No, I'm sorry that I'm emotional when I literally watched this guy snipe freaking random people, old, didn't matter, white, black, in instances. If you are not emotional about people losing their lives, then to me, you're just as cold hearted, honey. I hate to break
I
it to you.
watched the
You
video.
literally watch people die and you have
Okay.
no emotion. So
Is
why are
it
you
just going to
here?
be you're going to
Why
talk the whole
why
time?
why are you here, love? I don't want to I don't want to attack you. I'm not. But what I'm saying is I came here to passionately talk about my activism with guns that are plaguing our country. Children, second leading cause
Let
of death.
me Give me a
Is
minute.
my information not enough for you? Is my knowledge that in my statistics that I bring here on a day-to-day basis, you care so much about my emotions instead of all the facts I keep giving? Then you're just ungrateful. And I just don't think you belong on my show, unfortunately.
Do you think people think
You don't
better when
even
they're
care about the
emotional?
white supremacist that killed black people, 10 black people. He said he was a white supremacist and he used a freaking very deadly weapon to freaking do it.
Jesus Christ.
So, right, that's right. We do need Jesus Christ. We need Jesus Christ to come somewhere
You're not
into
married.
social media somewhere. I think I'm doing more work than CNN, freaking Fox News, and everyone. Come here every day. I've been doing this for
If
3 years. How many people do I have to see die? I
if
have a duty now. I have almost 100,000 followers, almost 2 million likes. I don't get to just quit this. So, do you have the pressure that I do on a day to day basis when I wake up and I see these mass shootings? No, I've been a part of gun control for over the past 3 years. I don't get to quit, and I don't. I care. I'm an angry, mad black mother. I live in the state of Connecticut where when those kids were dying, my daughter was in the same grade. She's now in ninth grade. And I live with the fear every day that that's going to happen again. And it's not only happened in elementary schools, it's not only happened in middle schools, it's not only happened in high schools, it's literally happening in every grade school. Colleges, even. It doesn't matter.
I don't think anyone ever taught you how to have a conversation with someone civilly.
Excuse me, Harris?
Did you hear what I said?
I'm sorry. What was that? I missed that. You're saying that I'm uncivil?
No, I said I don't think anyone ever taught you how to have a conversation.
I don't think she needs anybody to teach her how to hold a conversation on her live.
So he came here to attack me, the creator,
No,
instead of talking
I came
about
here to give you my side
this
of my
racist,
opinion.
white supremacist.
I would love to hear your side, Harris.
You wouldn't even let me talk yet.
I would love to hear your side.
Do you think that people think rationally when they're emotional or when they're unemotional?
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Christopher or are you talking about me?
Right.
I'm talking about you.
Okay, you gotta go. You gotta go. Because this guy.
Because if that's all you're worried about, like, that's not even what the conversation is about.
You know what he's doing? He's trying to derail. What he's doing, he's derailing my whole freaking show to make it about his point to bring about emotions. Like, you come here with no content.
Because what the fuck does this have to do with? What does this have to do with you? Because we're talking about something that's so serious that has nothing to do with you as a creator, but you're shedding light on it. So what's the problem about being emotional? Yeah. What's the problem about being emotional? I didn't even want to see a video of that shit. I saw someone's head get blown the fuck off just for going fucking grocery shopping. Whoa. This is just as serious as we should be speaking like this. This is not the time to be civil. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if that offends you. But you know what offends me more? The fact he had the N-word on the gun he killed black people with.
Wow.
If we want to get angry, let's get mad.
Wow.
If we want to get pissed, let's get heated.
Wow.
With names of black people on the gun. Come on now. Don't ever fucking play with me. Don't ever fucking play with me. You should be passionate about this shit.
How can you protect yourself from someone like that without a gun?
There's a problem with people thinking that black people are actually human too. So let me put it in a different light. So let's say that I came on here and I was like, you know what? Them people in the Holocaust, their asses wasn't starving.
I wish the Jews had guns in the Holocaust.
It was
I really
all
wish they did.
They were walking around like skeletons for no reason.
Because they didn't have guns.
So what's going to happen? What's happening in Ukraine then? What's happening in Ukraine? What's happening in Ukraine?
They had to arm their citizens to protect themselves.
Okay. You know what?
But why do we even have to be at that point in society? Why should we even be there?
Reality
is not
perfect, my love.
What
I get that.
He wants to deflect and derail the true issue.
No, but here's the thing. First of all, Harris, please don't test my intelligence because you do not know me, so I do understand.
Do you even know what the difference between a semi-automatic and a fully automatic?
Who cares?
Because
why would I even want to know? Why should I? If I'm not working for militia, or if I'm not in law enforcement, why the fuck should I know? Why should I know? Me a civilian, but me a civilian though. I don't need to know.
As much as humanly possible. Harris,
I got you.
You are a part of the problem and not the
very
solution.
much so.
He is very much an example of the mentality of gun culture.
Because here's my thing. Here's my point of argument. Just in general speaking, me and guns, I have no problem with guns. Period. Because the gun is the weapon. It's the person. Period. But what I will say is, they wouldn't be able to kill the people the way they do without the guns either. Because that argument, for the sake of, it's annoying because I don't see myself too hypocritical. We got guns in the house, period. I have no problem. I have no problem with people protecting themselves in the right sense, if they're in the right state of mind and they can handle that type of power. Because it's so much power behind just having a firearm that a lot of people don't take accountability for. It is a lot of responsibility to have a weapon, period. So.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
The responsibility, let me just piggyback on what you just said. I'll let you guys also speak. Because that's what I do. I like to listen to you guys, and I learn so much from you guys. It's not just the responsibility of the public to make sure that safety is being pushed pertaining to the gun. It should be the government's and the police power that's here. It should be the manufacturers. Everybody should have a holistic approach and making sure that safety comes first over sport.
Absolutely.
So, you made some valid points. Go ahead.
I just wanted to get started, and I just wanted to say I watched the video last night, and it was very traumatizing. And if you haven't watched it, I don't recommend you should. Yeah. And I definitely just want to say rest in peace to those individuals that didn't do anything wrong. That was very traumatic and hard to watch. And I just wanted Yeah, I just wanted to just show respect to that, and I don't have no arguments. There's no arguments to be made in this
Yes.
situation,
Right.
so it's pretty bad
Yes.
all
Thank
around.
you
It's
so
real.
much for
Yeah.
caring.
Mhm.
Because it
Like
shouldn't be
it's
something to argue about. This is like for if we want to make it
Yeah.
less of a race thing and more of a human thing. These are if people can't handle the fact that this is definitely a race thing
yeah,
because like we're at a point. Come on now, it's 2022. Y'all should know damn well by now that black people get murdered for no fucking reason.
yeah,
It's more
Yep.
than just people being soft and being like, oh, they're trying to make it a race thing. Bitch, have you not had your eyes open for like the past 5 years?
right.
More than that. Way more than that.
Let's sink that in. And this is why I say the BLM movement, who gives a whatever what the girls did with it? They made a point that brought awareness to our lives mattering. We shouldn't have a
Period.
stigma called our skin. We shouldn't have a stigma called our
But
demographics. You know,
Yes.
when the race is a protected class. But people just love their guns. They don't care. Like
but
this just
Mm-hmm.
fits the bill. Can we just say this? If you're not upset about what happened, I saw the video. And I think I need therapy after this. I swear to God, I'm calling a therapist. This
I
guy,
swear.
the way he killed them,
what
just
can I
the
say
Yeah.
this
matter and
though?
the quickness of it. Like you guys can understand. Let's talk about style of gun. If you watch that video, I was counting how many seconds between every bullet. It was about 1 second per bullet. It's
Yeah, he
massively
was
deadly to use an
it was
assault
like
rifle.
Call of
They need to be
Duty.
banned. And Joe Biden made them illegal in 1994 crime bill that nobody ever wants to talk about. He needs to bring that back as humanly possible. And then let's talk about this. How did this
Yeah.
guy go? He's going to due process right now. You know how many black young men don't get to go to due process because they get shot on sight? This guy shot
Talk your
13
shit.
people, killed 10 people, and he got to get to his house.
Yep. Come on now. And by the way, I wanted to bring this up as a point earlier. If for those that have seen the video, like I said, I wouldn't go looking for it. It's genuinely horrible as hell.
Then my
This man, for
automatic
y'all that
instinct
want
is
to
I
make
okay.
it not a race thing, here's how
Yeah,
much of a race thing it is. There was one person at the end that survived that was white and he apologized to them and didn't kill them. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry," and walked away. For y'all still trying
yeah.
to act like this is something we're not going to come to terms with it being a race thing and that black people are getting murdered, getting
right.
kidnapped, all
Yes.
these things going
Right.
on, we don't want to talk about it anymore because oh well black on black crime da, da, da. Everybody's gonna
Right.
hurt each other period.
Right.
That's
Right.
so horrible, but that's not the point in the situation. This is something that happened. This isn't happening. This exact situation can't happen every single day,
Can I
obviously,
Right.
say
duh.
one
And
We
it
are
thing?
talking
anything
about a
need to happen
specific
every single day. Yeah.
situation, and
Yeah.
people want to say it's not because they want to talk about oh but what about this in the hood or what about this here and what that has nothing to do with this situation
It
that
don't
Well, I
ever
happened
have
do.
to
at
say this.
Tops.
Can I say
I
one
do think
thing?
it's relative though, because we can't ignore the fact that due to proximity and due to the loose gun laws that we have and the laws not being enforced in these communities, emphasis on enforcing, it's creating a incubator of crime, and therefore people are killing each other with the gun. If you take the gun out of the equation, you just got people doing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? We have got to unnormalize this gun culture that we have in America. We just don't have the right anymore. We all don't feel safe. You can't go to the movies, can't go to the grocery store, can't walk down the street, can't sleep in your bed, can't drive your little 3-year-old stepson to to get his haircut. 3-year-old Micaiah, he got shot due to the guy being targeted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Nobody is safe anymore. You guys are worried about a tyrannical government, and I keep saying this. We got to worry about tyrannical society. Like, do you feel safe anymore? Can I just ask you guys that? Do you feel safe anymore here in America due to the guns? Do you
Absolutely
feel
not.
safe? Yes
No,
or no?
no,
Absolutely not.
I don't.
no. And the
And you
fact
got people
is
so
that
desensitized. People are so desensitized. I promise you this. After tomorrow, people are gonna act like it never happened. I mean, this
Like they
happened on
do.
they're
Saturday,
gonna definitely act like nothing happened.
and guess what? It's gonna continue on happening.
Oh, but let it have
Krishna,
been vice
do you
versa.
have something to say or breathe, activist?
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
here. But
only
here, let
thing I
them
have to
go.
say
Yeah.
is
Okay.
only thing I have to say is the people that's taking up for this grown adult, because he's not a teenager, he's a grown adult. He took the time to write a whole letter or a whole massage of what he wanted to do, drove 3 hours
Yeah.
to a predominant black area. Why he didn't do the shooting where he lived?
Right. And the governor did say that. He said he wasn't even up. Oh, I brought back Harris. I really don't. I don't know what. He was the next in
Can you
line.
hear
I
me?
can't. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because
Oh,
Yes,
I was
hi.
hey, how you
I was
doing?
trying
Good.
I was trying to say that I don't know why people are not saying it's not racially motivated when it was all but black people that was getting killed, plus a mixed race girl, I believe. Not only that, if you look at with the white boy who went to the church and shot up all those black people, but I've yet to hear anybody call him a terrorist.
Right.
Was there a
But
political
Right. That's, you
gain?
know what? That's a very valid
but
point.
they bring
Yeah.
up they always want to say, oh, do they have mental illness?
Right.
They actually made a full-blown plan to go and execute somebody, but they always bring a mental illness on the factor.
Right.
It's just the definition of terrorist.
Excuse me?
That put it. That
It
I'm sorry.
the
Huh?
definition of terrorism is causing fear and political gain. It wasn't a political thing. That's why. It was a racial thing. So he's just a
Well,
sicko
hold on, sir. Hold on,
murderer.
because you're talking to
But
someone.
Like,
wait,
for
okay. So
Hello.
example, if it was Osama bin Laden,
are you saying the person that did the killings is mentally ill?
I think anyone who kills anyone out of like anything but self-defense is mentally ill. I
But
mean,
but you know when they mean mentally ill, they're really trying to say that what he did, he didn't mean to do. Like, you
no,
know.
I think he's a monster. I'm just
Okay.
saying the definition is the reason why people say it's not terrorism. Because the
Okay,
true
let me just
definition of
say this. I took
terrorism,
psychology. Let me say this, Harris.
it
I
has to
took
do with
psychology 101.
politics.
Listen, I took psychology. It was one of my favorite classes in my little college career.
This is
Let me
about
tell you something.
politics.
In order to say somebody is mentally ill, you need a psychological evaluation. You know what's interesting to me is the mere fact there has not been a psychological evaluation, which I think should be a court order immediately. And that doesn't negate the fact of giving him excuses for what he did. He's got to prove that he was insane, and he hasn't even done that yet. But for the fact, I think my sister was saying, the media and you in society are already pushing a diagnosis without a degree and without the proof.
Did I?
How is that even possible?
Hello.
I can't imagine going to somebody and saying you're freaking crazy. If somebody called me crazy, I would be like, prove it. You
But
can't.
the thing is, he drove all the way to Buffalo.
He intentionally listen. Somebody that put their purpose. They put a manifesto on Twitch. He videotaped it. He
Yeah.
knew what he was doing. A crazy person wouldn't have all these malicious preparations. The fact that he prepped showed this was intentional, which means he knew what he was doing.
That sounds about right to
That
me.
doesn't sound crazy to me. That sounds like he purposely is an evil person and wanted to carry out an evil idea.
Wait,
But
you're
the
talking
thing,
about
but
which
the thing
guy?
about it now, you like we all
He
know
didn't even
that they're
take his
gonna.
own life. You would think a mentally ill person would have. I wouldn't want him to do this. I want him to go through due process because everybody in this country, in beautiful America, should have the right to go to due process. But you would think after taking all these people's life, he would be like, you know what, I'm gone anyway. Why even
But
deal with it?
but
He
the
went to
thing
his
about it,
mama's house. He went to his mom's house.
the media is already asking, do you think he's mentally ill? Which is very weird because if it was any other race, they would say terrorists, but they would never question about them being mentally ill.
Do you
So
think
that
that has
that
something to
that's
do
the
with them
part that
being?
got to me, especially with
Yeah.
the boy who went to the church and he shot up all those black people, and the cops took him to Burger King because he was hungry. He just committed a crime, but you take him to Burger King because he's hungry? It's just mind blowing. It's just
You know,
really mind blowing.
I can't help but think, it says if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I think that's in the Bible. I kind of feel like if you live by the gun, you should die by the gun. Like, I feel like we should give him the same remorse that he gave those 10 people that were unlived. To
Exactly.
be honest, I don't think that he could be rehabilitated. I'm a strong believer. My ex is a correctional officer, and I always used to have these debates about rehabilitation. I think people should be able to, get back assimilated into society. But this is just unforgivable. Like, how much forgiveness does
And then
one have?
they call
How
him an
you doing?
18-year-old
Hi.
young man, an 18-year-old boy instead of calling him a man. Because if it was a black person or a Spanish person, whoever get arrested, they would literally call them a man. Why is he a boy?
Yeah,
No,
it was
that's a man.
premeditated. Yep.
That's a
Uh,
man who committed a crime that he knew
right.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
and
This is an
he
adult.
proved,
Yeah.
and he proved that it was racially motivated.
Yeah.
Because on video you pointed a gun at a white person and you said sorry and you went about your way.
Right. And then he said sorry, so he had remorse after.
You had remorse.
Right.
So,
you know, I mean, could he have some characteristics about him that could have been the reason for his poor decisions, his erratic behavior? Absolutely, but we all do. That doesn't give somebody the excuse to premeditate massive murder pertaining to a specific group that's been marginalized since the freaking 1800s.
but
No,
I think
1600s. Since the
Orlando
beginning of time. You know, and what this reinforces is racism in our country. What he just did, there are people in their living room saying, well, there's 10 that we don't, there's people we don't got to deal with. There are racists in this country that will think this guy's a martyr, which is amazing to me. If you are not an ally of African American people, then you would talk about the gun more than human lives at this point. Orlando? Yeah,
I like guns, and I just want to say that we're at war. You see all the black folks getting killed.
Yo, hold on. Let me let him talk. Excuse me. I'm gonna let him talk.
And we're at war. That's it. Racist people, they're everywhere. So they're gonna keep on killing people when they decide they want to kill people. You ain't gonna stop the guns, because the guns are being trafficked in the street black market, so it won't never stop. So when you step outside, just know you might get killed.
Unfortunately, that's a reality that we all have, but it's really being perpetuated with every demographic. To be honest, everybody's using the gun.
Yeah, could I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I say something real quick? Where do we go from here? People don't feel safe in their own home. People don't feel safe in their own community. People don't feel safe going to get meals for their family. People just don't feel safe. Period. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, that's actually really good. That actually is a really good statement.
I don't see us as a community of people, even the white people, that's not being negative or racist. Where do we go against these people? They have their groups, they have their communities. It's right in our face. Antifa, the Proud Boys, this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Where's the RICO cases? Where's the investigations? It's like it's a fucking, excuse my language, conspiracy against us right in our face, and no one talks about it.
Right. Yeah.
It is when stuff like this happens. Now, oh my God, it's not oh my God. It's nothing is new under the sun.
You know what we need? We need white allies. Why? They are dominating this country by race.
Listen, this is my stance on it, man. It runs deeper than that. It runs. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
This country, we're 13% of the population. I don't know why we live so close to each other. If black people were to spread out of these inner cities, but I know why you do it, because the price it's affordable, okay, to live in these cities and things like that. I get it, but there's not that many of us here in this country, okay? So the fact that we're being targeted constantly, it's just kind of amazing to me. And I think that we have 647 people here. How many people in this group are part of the white race, the dominant race in this country, can vote for people that are going to stop these lobbyists, stop people from promoting white supremacy on social media, in movies, and literally everywhere, and say enough? I'm pretty sure if you are white in this country, you don't want to be a part of this. And the sad thing is, you are now a part of this because this guy said, I'm a white supremacist. So now you put the white race in the mix of all this freaking craziness.
Yeah, my stance is this.
So we need you. We really do.
Yeah, we need them, but this is how I look at it. If we had our own judicial system, all of them are guilty by association, guilty by bloodline. You got to think about it. It runs deep. It's just a mental thing. It's a mental thing, and it's learned behavior.
Okay.
It runs deep. It runs deep. Like this, my thing is, what I say about this country and society, period. Thank you for your stupidity, because it's in your face. It's in all of our face. We gonna die for something or die for nothing at this point.
Yeah. Wow.
Hi. My name is Haley, and I unfortunately have the double-edged sword of the skin, but I am Puerto Rican. My mother was kicked out for dating my father. I'm a
She got to say her origin.
and I live 15 minutes away from this city now, and I've been called the N-word outside my door in this white racist area. I went to a gun show in New Richmond, Wisconsin. They had Nazi daggers in the case. They had Nazi daggers. I mean, now look at how much my hand is shaking. Okay, I mean, people throughout my church for the past 4 or 5 years shot outside just because they're arguing over the sidewalk. My pastor's at the forefront inside the cities, but then come to realize that I'm married to a man that is part of that, you know? And it's like, I'm a Christian, and it's like, and I'm just like somebody pulling up while I'm trying to get air right now. I got a little credit card that turns into a dagger. It's like I'm having that reaction. Right. I'm Christian, but like I want my gun. You know what I mean? And the thing is I was mental health. I was abused. I have an A score of PTSD of 10. But you know what? I'm vigilant. We're warriors because God makes us warriors, right? He takes all of us from the dark and makes us harder for these people. But guess what? I feel like the light-skinned bitch who's up in the fucking owner's house because my husband looks at me like property. He's called me that word and all this stuff. And I'm like, I cannot believe I did this to myself.
Right.
You know,
I hear your frustration and the fact that people have stigmas attached to their God-given skin color. We all have melanin. This is what's going to create a different narrative. We have got to use education as a pillar to push us forward. We have got to unnormalize racism as a cool thing. Like we need to cancel culture. You guys out here canceling all these stupid movements. Let's cancel things that are going to make us feel safer, like racism. Like if you're racist, if you can talk like that, like that's just weird. Like get the hell out of here. We need to cancel.
My Puerto Rican side of my family fought to race jump, to not talk about being Puerto Rican. My dad lied and said we were Spanish. And like, I didn't make that choice, but yet I'm affected by it and interacting with Latinx people in this country. Yeah. They treat people that didn't grow up there like dog shit.
Right.
Excuse my language.
And it's so sad because Puerto Rican people are very beautiful. They're an ethno race. There are white Puerto Ricans, black Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are so mixed. And to sit there and in the area that you're in to deal with that, you should be involved. That's how you make change. You should be involved with the Puerto Rican community, so you can just talk to the politicians and make sure that you cannot discriminate in public. By the way, but thank you so much for your story. I'm so sorry that you had to do that.
Can I just share one final thought? I believe because scripture tells you that you have dreams and people have visions and such. And what concerns me, and I say this to the brothers of the community, I'm concerned that they're planning people like this into the community and doing this terrorism to try to get us to revolt, so then they can pull it out handmade style. Now I've dreamt of various races fighting in the Twin Cities where I'm walking through it. So I just want to say to everybody, like, are they trying to get us to take a bait? Yeah. I'm just saying as a question.
Violence is not the answer. Yeah. Retaliation. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We didn't retaliate. Our ancestors, we are descendants of enslaved people in this country. Jim Crow law was only 50 years ago. We never retaliated. When we retaliate with our mind. Knowledge is power. We retaliate with pushing the laws in place. We have a Civil Rights Act of 1866. We have a Civil Rights Act of 1964. We need a Civil Rights Act of 2022. That's going to push the police, the George Floyd Policing Act that Republicans freaking computted. Y'all want to talk about Republicans are cool? Black Republicans? Are you freaking kidding me?
I think the overall issue with this and like the entire situation is that my main issue, which has always been matched, like how did he get so far without him ever being stopped by anybody? Because anytime you hear about it on the news, like, oh, he was, he was in armor, he was in full technical gear. It's not like you just see somebody like that and you don't, at least nobody stops them or whatnot. And I think the issue where that comes from is that every time, like in the world in general, especially America, anytime a black person or black people bring up anything involving race, there's like a majority of the population of white people that just shuts off because they're like, oh, why are you making it a race thing? And it's like, we didn't make this a race thing. He made it a race thing.
Right. Because there's a
And
benefit. See, if you read books like societal books like White Fragility and Stamped and How to Be an Anti-Racist, there is a sense of protecting racism because it reinforces white supremacy. It really does. Because right
and
now people are walking down the street, and guess what you're thinking? You're probably, imagine being black in this country, knowing that we were just attacked for being black. That is freaking scary. That we can't even walk down the street. We can't go to the grocery store. Who's next? It's just going
and
to
then
create a ripple effect.
and the crazy thing about that is that when people hear stuff like that, because I know plenty of, I've seen enough, internet in my lifetime to when people hear stuff like that, especially white people, first thing, and some black people, first thing they think about in their mind is, oh, you're just being a victim. Stop being a victim in this day and age. Stop being this, that, and the third. When it's like, you haven't had someone approach you or come at you just for the color of your skin. You've never experienced racism, but for you to be like, oh, stop being, I'm not trying to be a victim. That's why I'm speaking up about it.
Right,
If I
exactly. And
speak
let me
up,
tell you
if
something. What happens when people are saying, okay, you're a victim mentality, you're a victim, because we all see it on TikTok. They normalize calling victims as if this is a negative notation, or that we had something to do with being victims, not the perpetuators that are freaking pushing the hate onto us because of what we look like and what our nationality, or not our nationality, but our races. But it's just kind of amazing to me that the black people that would be a victim mentality are now actual victims, dead under the ground, 6 feet under. We're going to get groceries. They're victims. Yes, they are victims, and that
right,
is
yeah,
okay to say that they're victims of
yeah,
hate crime from white supremacists here in this country. So what they're trying to do is do what we did with the N word, make it cool. Victims, you're a
Well,
victim.
I
You're a
want to.
victim.
It's called deflecting.
They're trying to make it seem like
Yeah.
it's okay to call victims victims.
They're trying
Unnormalize
to
that right
they're
now.
trying to
I think
deflect
it
it.
should be a part of a hate crime to call a black person a victim in this country.
mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I was trying to deal with this
can
situation to
I
deflect
was
it.
waiting to say something.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
You have to just jump in.
Well, it's
Nah,
because
no,
out of respect, I have a cousin out there that was there when the shooting happened, and it's I'm not even gonna get into that deep, but I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, I'm almost 40 years old. I've been seeing a lot my whole life, from Cali, moving from Long Beach, Compton, leaving there. Now I live in Alabama. I grew up in New York, and throughout my experiences of being a black man growing up, I had to go through stereotypes every damn day. I had to get up every day, walk to school, walk the block this way, because you got 13th Street, you got all this other stuff to worry about. And then I moved to a place where now my mindset ain't worried about the gangsters on the street. Now I'm worried about the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And I got a little daughter. And then when my cousin called me and told me last night, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, I would never put anything on my daughter, but on my life, okay, because I gotta stay alive for my little girl. I had a weird lucid dream that only lasts like 30 minutes, where I felt like hands were trying to grab on me and stuff. It was tripping me out. And I was on VR probably. I thought I was on VR too much because I was building the world. I was like, man, I got to get off this damn thing, you know. And then I wake up the next morning, I hear about this.
Yeah.
And
Well, here
the
you are.
thing is that,
You're talking to 700 people. Don't ever think that your voice doesn't matter.
well,
Okay.
it's not that. It's that the heart of the people have to understand, in order to protect yourselves, you have to build a foundation around yourself for you means something in this world, which you don't have to focus on what people think, like you just said. Put your money together. That picture of you see two white men at the tree and he's helping his buddy up. And you see the two black men at their tree and they fighting for the same fucking apple, but nobody putting their hands out to lift that one up. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, you have
Right.
to build, get you a building, get you something.
Yes.
Forget all this. Get you something that you could build up property and say, okay, we got this. Y'all got it locked down here. Okay, you got your business suit on. You got him educated.
You
Let's
guys know
get
I'm
these
the one
guys
to
in
do it.
college. Let's get these people scholarships. Let's go teach financial literacy. Let's
Yeah.
get the distraction away from the distraction. So when it comes, you like limitless. Let's make our people limitless mindsets. Because that's
Yes.
the only thing we could do other than guns and going in the street and shooting each other.
Yes.
Look,
And what you're
gangsters
talking
do it all
about
day.
is crime due to proximity, which is also a crime,
Right.
an issue pertaining to the gun.
Because you know what they do in those neighborhoods, right? Like
What?
Silicon Valley. I went there when I was younger. You can look my name up. I got kicked out of MIT. It was a long time ago. But those areas where these kids like this little guy right here comes from, they train them. They don't just sit there,
Yeah.
doing whatever. They
Oh
train
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Their
you know,
moms, their dads, they
I'm
got
gonna cut
cults.
you.
They got societies in the basement.
They
They
say
train them.
the earliest that people have come here that have told me about their gun culture is that the earliest I've heard was the age of 3.
Oh yeah, they train them early.
And they
They
go, well,
train them.
my kids know better.
I wish
Do
I had
they?
that picture to send to you.
You
There's a
think son
picture.
uses a gun
Look,
since he was 3? Does he?
now I'm not. Look, I'm not happy to say this. I used to work on the dark web when I needed money. Not doing anything bad to anybody else. But anyway,
Oh,
there was pictures
don't
on.
be telling
Not.
me so.
They can't get me. It's impossible. But the thing is, I saw pictures on there where they have these
Wait, is
training
that you
facilities.
talking? I'm sorry, I can't figure out if you're J_Hunt or if you're Truth
I'm Truth
VRM.
VR.
Okay.
I run the Metaverse Crime Watch and Alabama Crime Watch. You can find me anywhere online.
Okay.
I did it myself. I don't get paid for it. I do it for fun.
Wow. Okay, I'll
That's
definitely
respect.
look you
That's
up.
respect.
What else were you saying though?
I looked up. This is a long time ago, but this is when kind of things were a little bit more lucid online. There was a code thing that was on there that I had to take down. That's what I did. I was defense on the dark web. But they were showing pictures of these underground facilities in these nice neighborhoods in America, some in Georgia, some in Connecticut, some in nice neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm upper class.
Yeah.
Like if you sneeze, you get arrested. Where they have basements where they were training. They had these meetings, these special cult meetings. And I would imagine like this one right here, he was probably the black sheep of the family. They trained him to do the worst. And said, son, if you go out there, you'll get magic powers from Jesus. Whatever they trained this little crazy motherfucker to do.
So
what
you're
I'm saying?
saying, you don't think that he's 100% at fault. You think his parents or whoever
No,
raised
no, 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 no. I'm a very just crime man. He's at fault. And if I was there, I
Nice
would put a
parents,
bullet between his eyes. But at the same time, God
100%.
gave us all free will. So if you're not strong enough, there's people nowadays you could point and say, yeah, my parents didn't like black people, but I love them. They chose their mindset to do the right thing or to get away from that.
Yeah.
But when you're emotionally influenced and you stick to that and you don't have any optimism whatsoever, it's over with. You're a done
I
deal.
agree with you, and I have to say this: I see some of your guys. I'm reading while I'm listening to you guys. I'm double, tasking. But people say, "Well, what are we going to do about it?" We're talking about it. Well, let me tell you something. When we talk about things, you don't know whose heart you can steal. That boy could have been on here on TikTok, and we could have said something that could have, helped him. Let me tell you something. Energy and love can heal and get rid of hate. I promise you that.
No,
There's
can't.
nothing you
But
can
if we
say.
can only go back in time, but we can't.
Yeah, but listen,
There's nothing.
if
There's
black
nothing you can
people,
say to that young man to make him change his mind. Now, I'm speaking from a military background. I'm a Iraqi war veteran, so I've seen
wait,
terrorism
who
up
are you?
front.
I just trying to figure out who's
Thank you
speaking.
for your service, sir.
Are you? Yeah, thank you. Are you
J
Stat Switch or J_Hunt?
J_Hunt.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So I've seen terrorism up front. Like I've seen a lot of stuff, in my time of being over there. And like in these situations, like one of his main things that his motive was really about racial stuff, and also because the census pointed out that by 2060, the white demographic are going to be a minority.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see even how that's possible, to be
It
honest.
it, it is because they're taking like the Roe v. Wade played a big part in it. They're taking it higher. They put that in place for Planned Parenthood so they can decrease our population to keep us under control so we don't become the majority.
Excuse me.
But just like the drugs,
Yeah, but
when they
we
put
can
them in,
still have more kids. That's the thing. So now we're on the. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, J_Hunt. But this is my issue about being an activist is the mere fact that we got to take some type of accountability. We need to get black men to bring back forth the purpose of having a long-term relationship, not
okay, and
out
and,
there being
and men like myself, we do exist and we believe in that.
things like
And young
that.
men,
Like we need to take accountability within our own community,
yeah,
and we
and
need
it,
to
and it's not only it's
like
not
for
only the
instance,
black
my
men though.
daughter, I told her that if she is a virgin until she's married, that I was going to pay for her whole wedding. That's my goal with her.
See, I want to say something on that.
Gotta
If I
keep
go,
these high standards.
if I go right now, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm
We
sorry, I didn't
can't
mean to cut you
blame.
off.
Listen, you guys know I have a business, right? And I've told you guys that a lot of it has to do with planning and zoning. So if we go to the town hall, and we put pressure on them to not put these Planned Parenthood in our cities, in our communities, it's not going to freaking happen. So really, the only reason why it's there is because we're not doing anything about it.
So,
See,
the
look,
point
I'm
I'm
gonna
trying
tell
to
you.
make is,
Let me say one
let
thing. I
me,
was trying to wait till she finished. I do want to say this. I want to input this. One thing we have to do is not only go to the town halls and all that. It's about actually going to the children themselves if you want to make an influence in the long run. Like
Yeah.
literally,
absolutely.
I could go right now. I could walk out this house right now. I can get in my car, drive down the street, and I can see 3 kids in the street. I don't know who they are or nothing. I could go up to them and tell them something interesting,
Well, I
something I
don't
know
think
they'll
let
like.
you do
Be
that.
like, hey,
Stranger
you guys
danger.
want to? Well, I mean, in the ethical, let's say it was my community. You get what I'm saying. Let's say I grew up there. But what I'm trying to say is that when you grab the attention, like right now, if my name was Minecraft, how many friends you think I would have?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we have to use that in a way where we're pulling these kids' attention out of that direction, which is still, we got to defend ourselves. You got to have discipline, and you got to be ready for action. But
But
when you
let's
Hey,
have more
let me say
education
I
and
this
know
though.
we got
knowledge,
to do within our own communities, but this was a 18-year-old white male, Christopher
But
Graham Maglia, who wasn't from Buffalo, New York, who went
right?
out of the way to purposely maliciously kill black people in a grocery store. So I'm not going to put
you
it
kind
like
of cut me off before I get a chance to make my point on
it,
that.
that I'm going to say that every white person here in America needs to be an ally of Black lives that should matter, because this
But
is
hey,
a BLM movement. Listen, the BLM shouldn't only be important when police are killing black men disproportionately, 2 times more likely to be killed than our white peers. This is also a BLM issue. Everybody forgot about the BLM. You only like the BLM when you're making likes and follows over it. This is a Black Lives Matter movement. We need to march. We need to bring that movement back. This is going to keep
time for
happening.
marching is
We
over.
make it
Marching
stop.
does not accomplish anything.
What?
Can I go ahead and chime into this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
See, the issue that we're having right now is with America, like you said, Andre, it's still predominantly a Eurocentric country, and that's kind of the way it is. So you have
Wait,
rural
who's
America.
talking?
This is that switch.
Thank you. Okay.
So you have rural America, suburban America, and you have urban communities as well too. If you look at it, they pretty much dominate each categorical community in itself. So like you said, there's only 13% African Americans in America, and that's kind of where we're currently at right now.
Right.
So with this situation, you have less stringent gun laws in rural America, so they can come over to the inner city, bring their guns, feel comfortably fine doing it. And that's kind of what we had with the situation
Wow.
this past weekend.
Yeah.
Wait, let me speak on that real quick. So
What?
the point I was trying to make with my whole Census Bureau viewpoint is that white nationalists and white supremacists are becoming fearful of becoming the minority.
No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to
Yeah,
happen,
I
sir.
just don't agree with that. If you look at
And
the
the reason,
numbers, and I actually suck in math, but I get basic math. Okay, 70% of the population, and you think that they are having an issue? We're 13% of the population. There's 70%.
No, it's not us. It's not us. It's gonna be the Hispanic community.
Do me a favor, get a bottle.
no. But the thing
70%.
is, like, you're not having enough of the Hispanic community populating rural America.
Yeah, there
If you look at
are,
rural America,
do me
what
a
happened in
favor.
the last election? We had Donald Trump elected.
Wait.
Due to all
Can I
these
say
little,
something?
Yes, you can, but hold on. Let me say something first. God dang it. If you get a bottle and you put 70% of oil in it, and then you fill 13% of oil, well, the rest with water, you'll find that the oil is always going to dominate everything. You know what I'm saying? So to say that they're trying to create a Planned Parenthood to get rid of us, when I have to tell you, I had an abortion, I had to use Planned Parenthood when I was in my 20s. Guess what? I have another kid right after. So to think that we can't
look
use
at the numbers.
1,000 of
Look
her
at the numbers and the stats.
let me just say this: 300,000 eggs a woman can produce within her lifetime, and you think that one and a whole bunch of percent just goes through us every month? You guys
A
all know
lot
we
can
have
change
times.
in
You
38 years.
having an abortion is
A
going to
lot
make
can
you happy.
change in
okay, hold on.
38 years.
Come on.
Excuse me. Let me go and debunk what you're saying right now. So you
That's
said a lot could
ridiculous.
happen in 38 years, correct?
Excuse me.
That's correct.
Okay,
This
so
this is based on the Census Bureau report.
can you go ahead
It's
and tell me as to
estimated based on
why predominantly Eurocentric communities dominate rural America still to this day? why we have presidents like Donald Trump elected to the office with his bigot, racist views, white supremacy views as well too.
Because
Vote for him.
because currently they are the majority. Right now they're the majority.
And they've been the majority since the start of time. You even go back
Right.
before
Yeah,
segregation
but let's just
existed.
say this:
So
Joe Biden won,
so
though. So what does that say about
so
America?
so
Are we
listen to that
progressive?
fact though.
Joe Biden
Let's
won.
listen to that fact though. They've been the majority, and now for the first time in the census, their numbers as far as procreation are decreasing. So they're afraid. So that's why
Why
they're
would
doing Roe,
they
Roe
worry
versus
about
Wade.
procreation? Listen, men, all the men in here, 493. Hey guys, guess what? I'm a female, and I'm letting you know, even if you have abortion, you can still have children. Make it make sense.
Right, but the rates that they're getting abortions are higher because they're
It
the
doesn't matter.
majority.
Oh, you can have
Look at the
abortion,
numbers.
still procreate.
Yeah, look at the numbers. They're
This is
having abortions at high
this
rates,
is when
and for the first
education
time in the
is so
census, their
important.
numbers
Like,
are decreasing.
did you guys
Like,
not take
go back.
reproductive class in
Yeah,
Wait,
health
let
wait,
me
wait.
class?
Can I say something? Can I say something?
yes.
So I really get where he's coming from, and he's speaking from what like those white uh we'll call it white supremacy mindset. This is white supremacy mindset. Usually go from fear, right? And their fear is, oh, the white population is decreasing mostly because of all this abortion laws, all this abortion and everything. So let's get rid of it. Let's restrict it. That's why mostly conservative states are trying to restrict abortion normally than liberal states, right? So this is their mindset, and their mindset when you have a lot of immigrants coming in, that's why they'll prefer a lot of white immigrants like Ukrainian that came in, you know, immigrants from Europe, and that's why immigrants from like uh, color immigrants from like Haitian, whatever, Africa, South America, it's harder for them to come in. But immigrants from Europe, they have an easier way through, either economic, money wise. They're getting like Ukrainian that just came in, and other immigrants, right? So this is all about white supremacy mindset, and
In
some
this
of them
situation,
controls this
absolutely.
country.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. This is just
I definitely
he's
agree with
talking
that.
more of a
Oh, who
white
disagrees with
supremacy
that?
mindset,
No, no,
which
no. I
go
said
with
I said that I
fear.
definitely agree with that. So
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
the issue that we
It's
currently have,
because they're religious. That's why they want to
Yeah, yeah,
ban
and
abortion. It's
and
because they're
yeah,
religious.
yeah, yeah. And then
right?
I
You know,
grew up with
Religion is the reason.
yeah, yeah, and
right.
I came like literally my foster parents are white, and I'm like me and my brother were like literally the only black people in our community. So I talked to some of them that think that way. They're pure religious. That some of them won't even welcome me to their church, right?
Right.
let me
So I
That
kind
new
of see their
Supreme Court
mindset.
judge, justice is extremely religious. It's not
Yeah,
because she's some supremacist. It's because that's what they believe. It's all the opinion of when a baby is formed
yeah,
and what.
yeah.
Right.
Thank
That's
you.
the bottom line. There's no.
Thank you.
Oh,
There's a lot of
Right.
conspiracies being. A lot of conspiracies
open.
try to make
It's
sense
been
of things, but they're just conspiracies at the end of the day.
Right.
Absolutely.
See,
And that's
see
what I
what?
was thinking the whole time, that, white people are still dominating this country. They're not lacking. If you really
Oh,
like think about it. And
yeah,
mere
yeah, they're
fact
definitely
is,
not at all.
people just like that idea because it reinforces a hierarchy of race. Let me tell you something. If you guys could do me a favor, if you have an abortion, no, you can still have a baby. So why would they continue to push this narrative? Where are the doctors? Where are the nurses that say that you could still have a baby? Actually, I'm living proof. I had a son 4 months after an abortion. Okay, so it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. They are feeding rhetoric and propaganda that reinforces a hierarchy in political rhetoric. And I mean, it's just crazy to me. Which switch? But let me say
Right.
this was racially driven. This boy
Definitely.
was a white supremacist. Okay, but what I
Indeed.
want to say is this: that doesn't mean that white people, the race, had anything to do with his decision. What I'm
Right.
trying to say
Right.
is
There's 50 million people in America.
right. So let's not
True.
create this idea that white people rallied together to
No,
kill
exactly.
these black people.
Exactly.
This was Christopher Gramiglia's decision, and what's going to show how our country has progressed is when he goes to court. Because I'm telling you, this is going to be a juicy court case, because we're going to see another judge have the a possibility of being nice to this guy.
Right.
You
See,
know what I'm saying?
one of the
What's
main
going to
issues we
happen?
have.
So, go ahead.
Sorry, one of the main issues we have with America right now is basically okay. What Joe Biden wants to do is go ahead and fund money towards the police department. To me, that's the wrong answer because we're not sure where this money's being funded to directly, of course, as usual. And you know what they're not doing is doing white supremacist raids as much as they're doing raids in the inner city with blacks and
Okay.
minorities, with drug dealers and gangsters and things like that of that nature.
Yeah.
You know what it causes down in trickle effect.
Right.
All this is going funded to the police department. In certain conservative states, they're able to go ahead and
Yeah,
basically
I think
use
you
the
have a
money as they
valid point.
please
Your
without checks and
intellectual
balances.
stats, is that you?
Yes,
You're
yes, ma'am, it is.
you're an intellectual black person. I am as well. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of hearing people say we want to fund the police. You don't want us to fund them. You want to fund them. Well, let's fund them. But guess what? I
Right,
want to check and balance and see where the
right.
variances are,
See, the
because I
only issue with
promise
that is you're
there
not
are
going to.
variances in that report. Go ahead.
Right.
Which
Only issue with that is in conservative states they use the funding as pleased without the checks and balances
Shoot,
being
I do it as a hobby.
documented.
I do it for a job. Give me the report. I'm gonna go down the
Right.
line and see where the money's being allocated to.
And that would be
I don't want
nice, but I mean that theory in general only
That
really
that
applies to.
slogan, defund the police, is basically a slogan on how to make Democrats lose. That's basically what it does.
I
Every
listen,
time somebody chants that,
Indiana Tones. I totally agree with you 100% on that.
yeah, that's it.
It's
I mean,
political propaganda.
yeah.
That's all it is.
But there are people that march in the streets saying that in New York, while crime is extremely high, I don't even want to take my kids on the subway anymore because there's mentally ill people all over the subway
And that was
laying.
done by a black man. So it's really looks. Gun control is not a race thing. It's like a society thing. Like
It
literally
is.
everybody in every demographic in every race is misusing this thing that you guys love so much. A part of gun control.
It is.
It's a gun. Listen, if you wanted to use the gun for sport, fine. If you wanted to use it to protect your family, fine. But what's happening is these young kids between the ages of 14 and I believe even younger, maybe like in their early 20s, are misusing this gun. It could because of these video games. It could because the parents aren't monitoring them. Clearly,
Well,
nobody's monitoring
I don't think
him.
it's the video games. It's
I think
culture because
No.
I love
in
the
Canada, I'm sorry.
Dave and Buster's, but you kind of make
In,
me okay. Can I ask you something, Indiana? And
you
I'll
know,
let you talk. Which did you guys watch this video?
Okay.
sorry.
It almost looked like a video game because if you look in the video on Twitch, and I have it in my phone, I'm not going to post it because I know I'm going to get flagged for it.
Oh
But if
god.
you look at it, it's almost like an angle as if you were playing a video game.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, it could
And,
reinforce these crazy people, man.
but
Like
it's
in Canada, they're not doing this. You know, Canada,
right.
they have the same video games, they got the same movies,
Okay.
they got the same music.
Yeah.
It's definitely
It's
a culture problem.
America's
It might
gun culture.
reinforce them though.
Right.
It might, but it might reinforce them here because I don't know what's going on. I'm scared. My kids are in school doing these lockdown drills,
Yeah.
and they're supposed to hold up a backpack. What is that going to do?
Right. See,
Right.
but one of the things with America right now is okay.
School. I don't know what to do.
All right.
We
Can we let Switch? He really wants to say something.
us as a country here in the United
Sorry.
States, we basically hold Bibles and guns as the holy grail Bible here in society. So what happens in general is that people feel like, oh, we're entitled because this is Second Amendment right to carry arms and whatnot, and of course it is. But the issue that you currently have is you're going to have these violent outrage bursts with certain things, and yeah, I mean, to me, honestly, there is really no responsible gun ownership because once the
I
adrenaline
agree.
starts
I
coming,
agree 100%. Which Switch? Please speak.
So,
okay, so yeah,
sorry guys, I'll get out of here quick. I mostly just want to talk to white people because in the chat, because here's the deal, guys. We absolutely live in a narrative of white supremacy, and the issue is that this guy is a legacy of what happened to Emmett Till. He is a legacy of what happened to MLK. He is a legacy of what Dylan Roof did at the AME. And like the biggest issue I see coming up with this is that white culture is not willing to face the poison in its ranks. And I think that there is a history of poisonous culture within white culture. And again, I'm not saying all white people, but it is definitely a white people problem. It's like when we talk about Black history and then we talk about slavery, because actually slavery is the history of white people.
Right.
And, you know, enslavement and this strategy, and it's continuous. Like, this is what gets me about this is that this is not a glitch. This is a feature. And until we start facing the fact that because as a white person, I'll tell you, they genuinely are afraid of the Great Replacement. It's not real, but they are afraid of it. I mean, and they do use it in their preaching, and they do use it in their narrative.
Right.
And,
See, one of the
when we talk about this being a mental health issue for this person, we deny the fact that we have an unbroken narrative and history of white supremacy.
Yeah.
Like, that is not, it's not like, oh, this just happened. Like, right. And like there was somebody on Another Life talking about how well trained he was. And you don't get trained like that unless you're working within a group. Right. This isn't just like one radicalized kid, right? This is a system of white supremacy that leaks out in these ways because we allow it to thrive in our culture.
Right. And one of the things with America, what we do from what I've noticed, and this is probably my last point before I go off, is we basically get rid of certain things like affirmative action, like critical race theory in these conservative states, and they'll take care of that immediately within months or years and whatnot. But when it comes to gun control and gun rights, they hardly go in and regulate that. They'll modify it sometimes, background checks further, and then just kind of fall off the waistline with that. So my last point, going back to the original thing with Peyton Bryden, whatever his name is that, you know, we allow us as a society to be too comfortable with guns, having guns. And, you know, now it's fair and free where they can go out to different inner city communities and shoot people just because of that whole notion that whites are going to pretty much going to be obsolete within a certain time period, which we already know it's not going to be true, of course. Right. But it's that notion in general that
but I want to say this. I know this sounds really corny, but maybe because I grew up on an island, I'm just trying to share my culture. Love is what can heal this. I hope that my people in New York, African American people, or Black people just in general, come together and show that we still love white people. Like, we don't want to fight hate with hate, fight violence with violence. We just want to be heard. We want to feel safe. And I making a point that they are not safe either. 2 white people were also shot. So, you know, America, the media is going to make this a white supremacist against Black people, reinforcing racism in the country. But what I want to tell you is white people died, and so did Black people in this case. Right. So what does that tell you? Go ahead. Miss Goddess,
Hi.
What you have to say?
On what you just said, we could always agree or disagree, but I'm going to definitely disagree on that. Okay,
on
so
love,
like the love aspect, and just saying basically like how the media makes it to be something that it's not. This dude had 180-page
manifesto.
Yes, it's the proof in the pudding that he's a part of the white supremacists. He was groomed. He drove for 2 hours. He Googled the location to where he wanted to go. We don't know. Maybe the 2 white individuals was trying to save the Black people. Like, I'm not going to be going to make that even much better because of the organization, which is white supremacy, that he belongs to. And it has been a total of 3 incidents like this in 1 week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
annually,
it's not going to get any better. It's 400 years plus here in America. They're trying to put fear. They're trying to put fear.
I agree with you. However, it's not just white people. A Black guy was in New York and just shot up a whole subway. So it's really just
no. That was different. He didn't shoot it up. That dude, no, he did not shoot the subway up.
He was a terrorist.
He had some type of substance that he had The dude was mentally ill. The dude didn't
They're
just go
doing
after
exactly
white
what they
people,
do
black
to their
people.
people.
It wasn't a white thing. That was not based on racism. That was absolutely not based on
Okay, the
racism.
intent was different. That I can agree on. But as a gun control activist on TikTok, what
He
I'm
didn't
saying,
have a weapon though, baby.
he
He didn't
didn't.
have a gun. No, he did not have a gun.
Are you sure about that?
I'm
Did he have a smoke bomb?
110,000%. He did not have a gun. He set some type of like smoke
Okay.
type bomb thing off. That was not no weapons at all.
Right.
Absolutely not.
And like one of the things we're saying right now, Andrea, about
I
like
have to
coming
fact check
together
that. I'm
as
pretty
a
sure he was
country and
for
coming
sure.
together as blacks and whites and
Huh?
Hispanics, Asians, and whatnot. That's great in theory. We've been preaching the same rhetoric
Thank you.
generation after generation. Your kids will be saying the same things coming up in their generation. There's going to be a point in time in life where society actually takes, oh, you know what? We have a huge issue here in America. And,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, white people are the ones that have actually created this. So for
Yeah.
them to actually go back, revisit history, say, okay, yeah, we made plenty of mistakes and we need to make everlasting change that lasts for generations on out. So we're not going through the same notions as before,
Mm-hmm.
stating that we need greater and lasting change.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, but
But
what I'm gonna say is I'm 36 years old, and I got to see born in 1985. I got to see how far we came. Okay, my mother was born in the 60s, so I my grandmother practically raised me. So I grew up with all the generations in my house. And what I can tell you is this: in my lifestyle, or my life, actually, I have seen us progress so much. The year 2020, there was so much racism, but the media did not portray that 93% that 93% of the protests were peaceful and the white people had everything to do with
mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. We need them
Mm-hmm.
to be allies. We need them to be saviors because they are rewriting the wrongs of societal issues. We need to come together, and that was my whole point.
Well, the thing is, okay, I'm gonna take this way back to slavery. Okay, all right. It's always been white good people. We can't call the cattle black for everything. It still is good white people. They're
Of
mad. They are
course.
upset. They're on our side. They are against the white supremacists. I
Yeah.
live in the Philadelphia area, and when those Klan KKK came and walked through, they ran them out of there. It didn't take us. They ran them out of there. It's
Good.
not all bad white people. It's just the
Right.
one that
That's my point.
practices that evil ass behaviors.
Right.
Furthermore, we need a black web because coming on TikTok is not safe to discuss certain things. They hop on here, they take it, and they run with it. Seriously,
Well, who
seriously.
if we don't as activists, and there ain't a lot of people like me. I have to say I haven't been good at a lot of things, but with this
Right,
I'm pretty good at it. And
right.
I can say this: getting them on here to hear our story is everything. Listen, we can
Thank.
change the laws, but that's not going to change the people. We need to talk to them. We need to interject their spirits. We need to speak to them. They need to hear us. And that's all I do is share our stories.
But
Because you
they're
never know what you're going to say that's going to imprint a new narrative in somebody's mentality.
but
In their
they're taking it, but they're spying, honey. They
Yeah,
taking it as a
but
negative. They taking
listen,
all our information collectively, what we saying, or how we trying to come together, and it's just I don't think it's good. It's
what
just
I
done
want to
like in
do,
a
I
negative
want to
type.
talk to people that feel this need to continue on with white supremacy. What actually benefits could you agree that you have that makes people want to be silent or complicit? What
Right.
benefits is there? Because there is definitely a benefit of white supremacy. I'm not talking about the allies. I'm not talking about the
Right.
anti-racists. I like that they come here because I want to know, what is the hatred? Is this
Mm-hmm.
something that you've been told? Is this something that you
Mm-hmm.
see? What is it about black people that you want to target us like this?
It's been going on, baby. This is how the United States of
Yeah.
America. This is how America was born.
So it's the
Ready.
culture, right?
It's
So love,
just
it's
it's
the
law.
culture, right?
Law.
So let's make a
It's
new
around the
narrative.
world. Like, and then not only that, Trump just opened Pandora's
He really
box.
did. He
Trump
really did.
made everything just so freaking worse. Trump.
Right, I agree, but I'm
It,
telling you,
it created the Beckys. It created the Karens. It created the Kens. They
it's true.
bold. It's way more murderous.
But what
Trump.
I'm saying
Trump.
is, maybe because I'm a Christian woman who believes in God, I just believe that love is the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't
love
know.
is what's going to cure. We cannot
It
hate
hasn't
a
changed
whole
right
race.
now.
We
We
can't hate
don't want. We
the
don't.
kettle calling the pot black. You know,
I
the
don't
black
know.
kettle calling the pot
Right.
black.
I don't know.
We
Good
cannot
But
do
it's
morning,
that.
almost to
beautiful
a certain
people.
point. It's like
But love don't conquer all. When you
right.
have these
You know,
people with
like
these type of
we can
behaviors,
Yeah, no, he had no
Martin
remorse for
Luther King, he walked, he
people.
we
marched, he
walk
preached to
march.
what? Lose his life.
But what I'm saying
The
is,
only
what
one that
I'm
they
saying
was
is, Miss
really
Goddess,
afraid
what I'm
of.
saying is, if the people that come here, you know, over 500, sometimes 700 people come here. One time, 2,000 people come here. If they could tell their children that are white that we are all the same, we are part of the human race.
Some of them
If
do
they
that.
could create a new narrative with
Right.
children of the
But
next
But
generation, we are going
oh,
to change
but
the world.
racism
it's
starts from
almost to
at
a point
home.
now
It
where
starts from at home. Racism is learned
right.
behavior. It starts from at home. Whenever they groom to be in this white supremacist, you have to understand how big it is. The government is involved with this. It's just so, it's way bigger. They have 400 years plus to plan this stuff out.
And it's
The
and
power is the dollar and it's the money.
it is one
That's
of the things. If you look back to the George Floyd situation, right? You know, we've had whites that galvanize together to invoke change
right,
within America to
right,
hopefully do it better, but they use it as a social trend. So soon as that's gone, it's no longer relevant anymore.
right.
Whites are no
Thank
longer
you.
taking that seat at the
The
table to hopefully
stance.
make invoking change and
Thank you.
go ahead and make things better. And you
Right,
know, you can't use it as a social trend. This is life. This is human lives, innocent lives, people's lives in
right.
general. They're being affected for this forever, for generations. And you have to constantly be on it consistently. And it's
I'm
Yeah.
up to
just
them to
sorry.
sit there and be at the table to do so.
Like I don't believe
Okay,
in
let's
Good
talk
violence.
about the
morning.
solution.
I
Let's
don't
talk
believe
about
in
the
violence,
solution.
but
I
I'm just
believe the
saying
solution.
this. Everybody black, get your weapon, learn how to shoot. Because they're not going to
I
go
don't.
to the
I
hood. They're
no,
not going no, I
no,
don't like
no, 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 no. You
Good
won't.
morning. Good
Hold on.
morning.
No, you don't. Okay. Violence is not the answer. Retaliation is not the answer. Hate is not the answer. Education, involvement in political realms, making sure that you are being on top of what's going on. There are so many layers that could have protected the people in Buffalo. For instance, he was out of state. I know here in Connecticut, right next to New York. I think Buffalo's a little farther. I'm closer to New York City. There are state checks. If they would have checked how did he get to the state of New York? Have you ever driven to New
No,
York?
wait, hold
I
on.
live right
Wait,
next to it.
oh,
I've driven to New York. And hold on.
let me go and
You
Hold on. Let me
debunk what
let
you're
me
saying
let me
right now
say
because
something. Let me say something. Let me
no,
say
wait, hold
something.
on, you guys. Hold on. Because I'm trying to bring forth solutions. I'll listen to you guys. When you go to New York and you drive through, there is a checkpoint. You have to pay for the tolls. If they would have checked him in his car like they do when you go to a military base or something like that, they would have found the gun. How many layers of protection could we have had before he got to what he's doing? Red flag laws would have helped. He was posting stuff, a manifesto on Twitch freaking on Thursday. We need to hold Twitch accountable. As soon as they seen that, they should have flagged him. Go ahead.
right. But
Okay,
if you feel like
I
oh,
just
sorry
want
about
to
that.
say, Andrea, you know I love you. You know
Are
you
you
have my
about to
heart.
talk mess?
Hello.
I'm about to hold you accountable
Okay, I
because
can't
when
do
they
that.
talk,
I know what you need to do is hold accountable the killer that I have behind me. Why? What did
exactly,
I
that's what I'm saying.
for?
That's what I'm saying, Andrea. This is what I'm saying. I don't see the same hostility in you when it comes to a white man holding a gun that you have when it comes to people in the black community having a gun.
I
Just the same thing
literally
we just
here
witnessed.
for two
Just the same
hours
thing.
post. No,
Listen.
you
I'm
just don't
listening.
appreciate my content, and you
I
just don't.
do
You sit
appreciate your
around it.
content. And you, Andrea, I'm here with you all the time.
What I'm telling you is,
Listen,
it's just
you're
a
when you're
lie.
talking about love, when you talk about criminals and how you want,
Let's get the
you know,
Bible. Let's get the Bible. Let's do Bible study on Monday. I'm a church
I'm
girl.
there. Listen. I'm a Christian as
Let's get
well,
the
but I don't go
Bible.
by King James. I don't go by the translated and the harmful. I don't go by that. What I'm saying is we have to stand our ground and have the same energy when people are killing us. Yes, black on black violence in the community is an issue, but people are killing us as well.
Yeah,
There are
but you know
groups
what?
of people that come together
Do me a favor,
to
Queen.
harm us.
Do me a favor, and don't be mad at me because I see a full picture here.
I see a full picture too.
Do you love?
I
Do you?
do.
Do you?
I
Because
do.
I'm pretty
Because
sure
just like your proximity is different than mine, Andrea, I'm in a predominantly black city.
I'm
I
right
mean
next to it.
area.
I'm right
But
next to
I'm
it.
here. But I'm here.
I'm not going there. No.
I'm
Because
here.
let me tell you something. At the end of the day, if just do me a favor, read the comments. I dare you to see what they say about black people killing black people. It ain't me, sis. It ain't me. It's them. Read
Only
what
thing
they
I'm
say about
saying
me
is,
doing.
Andrea, you like
Read. No,
I
I
get
don't
your
want you
heart.
to
I'm
talk
reading
about
the
my emotions
comments.
about me. Do me a favor.
My emotions about you.
Yes, what I want you to do is read the comments on what people that come here and say about black people killing black people. Don't worry about what I say. Read the comments.
I've read the comments.
No, but
I
read
multitask
them.
on a
Okay,
live.
let's read them together. Hey, if anybody has any questions or any feedback of what you
See,
want to say about black crime,
right.
please come through because
See, Andre,
What
what?
I'm saying is, when you were talking about this situation, you
you
said
guys
something
want me
with
to
love.
not mention
You
it
said
or
something about
protect
love. No,
criminals.
no. What I said is you address the situation differently than you do when it comes to the crime rates in our communities. You addressed it differently. You said
How would
something
you
about love and being
address crime
compassionate,
within our
and then
community?
when you talk about our communities, you're talking about like y'all and these thugs and da 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 da. Like it's a whole
Okay.
like love is a necessary across the board.
Okay, so
It's
you're mad
necessary
that I
across the
mentioned love.
board.
You're mad that I mentioned that love is okay. So let
I'm
me just say
saying
this.
that you have to give the same energy to your communities, beloved. That's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying is this. I was an activist on TikTok year 2020. I went viral a few times mentioning black men that had guns and died. Devon Tillman was a criminal. He was a young criminal and he had a gun and he got freaking 30 something bullets. I made a song about it. I told the world about it. I still reaching his name still to this day. I mean, everybody forgot about Devon Tillman. What type of energy is that? Okay, when I'm seriously constantly protecting black criminals that are being killed disproportionately by police, that's not enough for you.
I you're hearing what I'm saying, and you're taking it
Devon Tillman had a freaking gun.
as defense. You're getting defensive about what I'm saying. What I'm
What I'm
saying is, when
saying
we've
is,
had
are you
conversations
doing it though?
before.
If I don't do it, if I don't mention the issues within guns just in general, who's going to do it? Because
See,
a lot of people come
one of the
to
things
critique
that
me,
that you
and
mentioned,
instead
Andre,
of bringing
about
up the knowledge, you guys derail my whole point, which is mere
one of the
fact.
things
Listen, I
that
woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and I saw people massively being killed. I watched the video. Okay, to discredit my work as a black creator and you're a black woman
Who
is
discredited
insulting.
you? Who discredited you?
But it's cool.
Love you,
It's
queen.
cool.
Love you,
It's
queen.
cool.
Love you,
see
queen.
I'm bringing it up
one of the things you
because
mentioned, Andre,
Maurice
about
point
having
of
checks
doing
and
this,
balances
and
in
that is
state
to bring
lines.
forth awareness towards the gun violence epidemic that's here in the country. That's my whole
Right.
point.
See, one of the
And
things you
it's
brought up, Andre, about the
of
whole
war,
checks and balances in
of
state
white
lines.
people wanting to protect white people, black people wanting to protect black people, and I just don't want to protect anybody that's being reckless with a gun.
Right.
And I have to say, in the black community, black men are being killed at higher rates and more because they got the police killing them, they got blacks killing them, they got freaking other things that are killing them, the food, and tons of things. So I'm just bringing a holistic approach, and people don't like that.
See, one of the issues with this horrible individual, what he did was he didn't cross state lines. He was in the same state of New York when he went
He's
from
from New York. I have
right,
family who know him. Like he's from New York. He's from
right,
here.
right. So the checks and balances you brought up about him being checked, he's in the same state. So what does that tell you? There's two different legislations going on in America.
Okay.
Regardless, you have rural America and you have more of a suburban black community where the laws are going to be a lot more harsh. The checks aren't there for it. So he can still go to the same state with different laws and be able to do the murdering that he did. And that's it.
Yeah. You know what? I want to say this too. Some of the people in the comment section that are part of my race are so being rude in the comments. You know, you guys have got to understand that this is not an easy hobby. Okay, when I literally, and a lot of people here saw people actually die. One that was really important. There was somebody on the ground. He had already shot him, and then he shoots him again right straight in the middle of the freaking temple. And I thought this guy is so freaking cold-hearted. I'm here to say, like, maybe there's a young kid here that has a gun to not use it. If there's parents here, like, monitor your kids. 18-year-old to me is not an adult. How did he get this gun? I have so many questions.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to give you guys a different perspective because I've been listening for a while and I've been hearing a lot of different lives. A lot of people are focusing on the dog, but they're not focusing on the owner. You pointed out the biggest point. This guy is a young kid. He was trained. Why is it that we keep getting random shootings that happen to be promoting the gun law they're trying to take from us, and also trying to promote race hate? So they always do the same agenda when they want to distract us, and also they're distracting us. So they've been training these people to do these things in order to be able to push more laws and get more control on us. They're trying to do more than that. So we're focusing on this right now. We're arguing about it because we're all crying and we're emotional because we don't like to see our own people killed when it comes to race. But when it is each other, we kind of it's already a numbing thing because it happens our whole life. So the big picture is not about who this kid is and blah 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 blah. God is in control. He's going to take control of things and everything, but we got to realize what the real problem is. It's not the individual, it's the person who keeps bringing them in and who keeps taking benefit from this. It is the government, the people that are in charge. They're using this as a excuse. So we got to stop pointing and looking at this kid like that's the problem. The problem is above him, and we're allowing them to take our freedom away.
Right, I hear you. But accountability is everything. Like I said, and I said this, and I'll say it again. The gun out of control issue in this country really is about the manufacturers. It really is about the loose gun laws. There's
no loose gun laws.
It's so easy to get a gun. They freaking print them.
It's easy to get a legal gun. Not legal guns they're in order. I've been in the military. I've done everything that has to do with gun laws. I'm NRA. Like, I understand that people that don't even know anything about gun laws, they think that it's out of control because that's what they tell you. They're literally legit laws. The ones that people get that actually cause the harm are not legal. The majority of things are illegal that they have attached to illegal guns. Illegal black market is the problem.
It's called loose gun laws. So basically, when you have gun laws that are not being enforced, therefore giving an incubation of a targeting place where people can go reign supreme with their freaking guns is an issue. Loose gun laws. And also, I would like to tell you that the gun laws are not the same in every state. So having all these different gun laws is freaking confusing as hell. We need to have the same gun laws across the freaking board. Why is it okay in some states?
We definitely shouldn't.
In some states, you can be 18 and have a gun. Okay, I think that's too young to have a gun, to be honest.
No, even though our country started with 14-year-olds that actually made our country ourselves. So it is kind of hard to understand from someone that doesn't.
Are you protecting these people who are going to continue to do these mass shootings, or what?
No, well, allow me to speak and not interrupt each other, because I want to interrupt you, but that's how it should run. Allow dialogue to happen.
Okay,
let me finish. Let me finish, please.
With this freaking dialogue stuff,
I mean, if we're having a group conversation on your,
all I know is that to this day, I'm tired of my brother.
3 hours listening to you guys. Listen, I'm going to talk about the manifesto, and I'll bring you guys on real quick. Like, it's just kind of amazing how my activism gets freaking twisted the way that people want to twist it. You know, if you want to be a part of gun culture, then know that you're a part of the problem, because gun culture is not fixing gun violence in this country. This is going to continue to happen because left, right, black, white people here in this country love guns. There is something that I had seen over time, is that there is an outcry in the public in Australia and all these other countries that have the strictest gun laws in some of the richest countries in the world. You know, how long are you guys going to continue to protect this gun and not talk about these human lives? So right now I'm looking up the manifesto from Christopher. You know, it's a privilege to just hop on board of something I've been doing and be able to share your thoughts. Like, it's just kind of amazing to me that I don't feel like people appreciate enough, to be honest. This is a lot of work here, okay? Christopher, what's his name? Graham Miglia. Christopher, no, what the heck? I'm trying to look up the, if anybody has information on the manifesto, we're going to talk about that. And then, you know, I don't know what to tell you. People are going to give condolences and thoughts and move on with their freaking day. That's how this happens in their country. People make these decisions. They make the court, and then they make the media bring all this attention on it. It's entertaining, and then we move on. And it just continues to happen. They're going to make a movie about it. They're going to make a book about it. People are going to make money about it. So what are you doing? Gun culture is not ending people dying in public. You have got to be on board with public safety. You have a right here in this country to be able to go to the grocery store and buy groceries and not freaking fear your life. At this point, I hope Uber Eats becomes Uber Groceries. Okay? Okay. But if you got to come here, please come here with some more information about this young boy. I really want to know what you guys know instead of your emotions. Unfortunately, you can't understand that love conquers all, and that's just me. That's my personality. I believe that if we love each other more, that will stop all this. If we help each other out, if we use these red flag laws that are in place that could have stopped this from happening. He did the manifesto on Thursday. This happened on Saturday. How many people heard or saw him on Twitch and could have done something and didn't? That's what I'm saying. What are we going to do, guys? What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
So I live in Buffalo, New York. That's
Okay.
10 minutes away from me.
Sorry. Can you come back, please? Sorry. Can you come back, please? I did not mean to cut you off. Please come back. Can you come back? Thank you. I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
So, like I said, this was 100%, 110% racially motivated. There's 180-page documents of a plan and plot for him to go and do everything that he went to go do. It wasn't just him involved. There was multiple people. There was 22 people on that Twitch live watching from the beginning of that stream on that day. And it was supposed to start at 4 o'clock, but he started at 3 without his partners because he was just so eager to get in there and already just start killing.
Right.
The whole plan was after taking out the whole entire grocery store, they were going to go down the east side and make their way to Broadway Market, just shooting people on the street, people of color. He's only 18 years old, and the type of gun that he was using isn't even legal in the state of New York.
Okay.
And so the judge actually, locally here in Buffalo, put out a public statement saying that he's not guilty until proven guilty, which is complete slap in the face because
Like we saw him do it.
it's live. Yeah, there's evidence and there's people hurting out here. Buffalo's small. Everyone knows everyone. People lost their grandmothers. People lost their cousins. People lost loved ones, and people are hurt.
11 of the victims were African American. 2 of them were white. 4 of the victims were store employees. And out of the 3 hurt, 2 have been treated and released from.
I have the video of the Twitch video, and while he was doing it, if he saw a white person, he saw a white person, and the white person said no, and he said, "Oops, sorry, man," and just kept going.
I saw that.
Oh my God. Wow.
I'm telling you, I'm not recommending you guys watch this video.
That's what I'm saying. But in Buffalo, New York, there was a man, a person of color, who was in a cop car chase. Okay, they shot that car up with 100 rounds because the man wouldn't come out the car. Little did they know, the man was disabled from waist down and couldn't get out the car. His car was built for him in order to drive without working and functional legs. So they shot his car 100 times in order, and he survived. But they let this man walk out of Tops like nothing. Just handcuffed him and put him in the car.
I can't wrap my head around it. How Devon Tillman, again, a young kid that I like to speak of his case and story because he'll never get justice. He's dead. Had a gun and like 6 or 7 cops shot overkill. About bullets to Devon Tillman, which is an adorable young boy. And guess what? This boy, 18 years old, around the same age as Devon Tillman, didn't have a shotgun. Devon Tillman had a shotgun. This guy had a freaking huge freaking rifle, semi-automatic or whatever the hell. And he got to leave the location. I don't know how he did that.
Oh my God.
He went home. And now he's going through due process, and the judge is saying what now? That he's innocent until proven guilty? How much proof
That's
do you
the thing.
need?
I don't understand what
He
you're
didn't
investigating.
surrender the person in the comments. He put a gun up to his neck, and the police stopped him from killing himself. It was a suicide mission. There's 180 pages of
Yeah, I'm
PDF
trying to look
document.
for it now while you're talking.
I could send it to you. I have it.
Well, I have to. Well, okay.
Well, you go if you go on Facebook and just type like Buffalo location, like
Okay.
it's book.
Yeah, I looked at Buffalo, New York shooting. I'm looking for the manifesto.
Yeah, so I mean, this was plotted.
But there's so much. There's so much.
But this isn't over.
Stuff
There's
online.
more that's gonna go down. Even today, there was threats made at another grocery store, and the guy
Are
got
you
arrested.
serious?
The guy got arrested today. There was threats made in another grocery store, and it's what I'm trying to say.
What was also like what was also a slap in the face, like the cops, like the people that came up to the podium during like the press conference, they kept congratulating all these cops, like thank you to these person. I'm like, why are we congratulating
Exactly.
these people? They didn't get there in time.
Exactly.
Right. So
There was
get there in time.
Timing is everything. How many people could have survived if
the
they got there
assistant
quicker?
manager at Tops. The assistant manager at Tops was on the floor calling 911. Buffalo police and dispatch are terrible. She was whispering. She was saying, "I need help, this and that." And the dispatcher started screaming at her, "Why are you whispering? Well, you don't need to whisper." And she's like, "Ma'am, we're under attack at Tops on Jefferson Street. There's someone shooting." She said, "I can't understand what you're saying," and just hung up on her.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you guys, timing is everything. And that's something that we need to force them to get. But I have to say this: I was counting, like I watched the video. I have it in my phone; it's still saved. I was counting how many bullets were being pushed through. And I don't know why he shot the window. Like he was just on a
because that's
rampage.
that's the entrance. So the people were running inside. That's the entrance of the top.
So he was trying to get people.
So he was shooting through the window. So you know how he shot the people outside, like in the entrance right there? That's the entrance. You walk in and then you make a right into the grocery store. So he was shooting through the window at the people who were running inside into the store. That's why when he walked in and made that right, there was a woman already on the floor because she got shot while she was running inside, and he finished her off.
If the video is
and that woman was actually my friend's grandma.
Stop it. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I can't. And so when people come here and they're like, Andrea, you're so emotional, go watch that video. If you don't feel something, there's something wrong with you.
Exactly. He literally
pulled
up.
I
didn't even park his car. Just got out his car. First person he saw just started clapping.
This dude, he had no remorse. Like he did overkill. Like I said, the one that really
he was having fun
was the mere fact that he shot somebody. And when, let me say, it was like second. Listen, I get it. The cops there's no way. I mean, 10 people died. I think more people would have died more. I just really want to know how he got to leave the scene. You know, that's still under question. But it was like seconds. It was like
And then another insulting thing.
The whole plan was to take out the whole entire store in 4 minutes. They had 4 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what the other thing that was insulting during the press conference is they didn't call any of the victims' names. Like they didn't have any, like, at least take the time out. These are people. These are human beings.
Exactly.
And they kept saying, "Oh, this person,
and I got their names
know
right
this
now.
person, and we went to church, and this person felt." I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And it's funny, they were downplaying it locally until it went viral. It started going viral, and then they started taking action.
We got things like TickTock, which don't ever think you guys being on here isn't making change. You guys are making putting pressure on media to come up with the facts. Okay, this is amazing. So let's talk about
coming here
Robert.
Today too.
Let's give a moment for the victims: Robert A. Jury, Magus D. Morrison, Andre McNeil, Aaron Saltler, Geraldine Talley, Celestine Chaney.
Celestine Chaney. That's my friend's grandmother. Celestine Chaney. That's my friend's grandmother. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, and beautiful lady, to be honest.
She's a sweet woman.
Hayward Patterson, Catherine Macy, and an older woman. I can't.
They're all 50 and older. Because that's
Ruth,
where they go grocery shopping. That's literally, they were going on their weekend shopping. Like,
Yeah,
that's where
they
everyone
never go.
goes.
They never go in the hood. They never go. As a TikToker said, they never go in the hood. They always attack like soft targets. You know,
That
these
was directly in the hood, though.
Yeah, but you're shooting at
Mhm.
older
Oh, yeah.
women and older
Hmm.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah, come attack. In the right neighborhood. Come attack where people are ready for you.
exactly.
Then you'll be
Exactly.
really do. That's the big news. Come
Because
attack
that
somebody
tops
that's
right there
ready.
is only
yeah,
where
but
old
do you
people go
really think
shopping.
that that people with guns that would have intervened a guy with that? I mean, is that even safe to even try to intervene
No, but
somebody
if
with
you're
a
bad,
deadly weapon?
I'm not encouraging violence. But if
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
you
so
can.
bad,
Well,
if you're so bad,
yeah, it's different out here in the South.
I
Definitely
understand
different.
where you're coming
If he
from.
would have came out here in the South, then everybody with guns. Most people in the South have guns. Everybody have guns out here. But if he would have came out here and tried to shoot like a store or something, it would have never happened. They would have
But
defended
I
themselves.
hate to
We
break
have
it to
rights
you,
to
it has
defend ourselves
happened.
out here. Well, I have never seen it happen in Louisiana. I'm sorry, I have never
Do
seen it.
you know this? Louisiana is like on the top tier of gun violence. Maybe that's why I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah, so that's what I'm
Like,
saying,
yeah,
but I have
Louisiana
never seen no one
might
shot
not be
a
plagued in
store.
mass shootings, but in gun
Right.
violence,
Yeah.
it's like one of the top 10.
Laws on
It
guns
it
has
is.
nothing to.
It is.
People
You
will get a
definitely
gun if
have
they
to
want to get
protect
a
yourself.
gun, regardless of the laws.
Right.
I just disagree with that 100%. The more people say that, the more that I realize there's an issue in this country. If
I
you
mean, you can
if you
get
don't
a
have
gun
guns to play
anywhere
with,
though.
nobody's going to be playing with it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like our country needs a timeout. Like, I'm a mom. Like, I want to put the whole country on timeout. Okay, if you got a gun we need to restrict them for an X amount of time till they're all counted for. Okay, everybody, can you just like hop on the bandwagon of just like, you know what I'm saying, have your gun accounted for so that we can count them and hold people accountable? Because why, people are trying to say, well, it's not guns, it's people. Well, we don't know which way to go. So we need to start from scratch. That our country needs to be swept from guns, and then you need to go through due process the right way to be able to have that right. It's a privilege to be able to use your Second Amendment, and how many people fought for that? It's kind of amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like, if no one feels safe, but everybody still wants to protect the gun. Why?
I
yeah,
understand.
never gonna
Understand
happen. Never gonna
a gun
happen.
is
We're too far gone.
more likely for a kill. Other than if there was no access to guns, people will still be murdering. They will still be
Yeah,
using weapons, but it would be less. It would take more effort for a kill instead of just
right.
shooting. They would have to be at the scene way longer. They would have. They wouldn't feel as if they can get away with it easier.
So you're saying without guns, it would be easier?
No, it would be harder to get
When
away
I'm
with
saying
anything.
I feel
right,
like guns will never
like they
leave, so
just
it's
need to
not
be
gonna
accounted
never
for.
happen. It's not gonna never happen. I'm
What?
sorry
Well,
to say
guess
that.
what? I don't believe in never. I don't believe in never. I think we need to have a no tolerance. If I do anything on here, I want to create an outcry from the public. I want the public to make an outcry for change. Okay, what do we got to do? Okay, is it the parents? Is it the buyback? We got to talk to each other to figure out what the issue is. And if somebody came to me and said, "Andrea, you've been doing this a long time. You've been talking to the world." I mean, I talk to the world. Okay, and what do you think is the issue? I would say us. We are the issue, and it has everything to do with guns, because there's a protecting of these guns, and the guns are being used to kill people massively. So what can you do to get rid of people dying from gun? Get rid of the gun. Duh.
I'm just saying that it is your right to defend yourself. It's not wrong to
What I'm
defend
amazed
yourself.
about is that you guys aren't worried about the education. You're not worried about the getting a really good job so you can get a pension, retirement plan, health care.
Of
There's so
course.
many other things that we could be talking about. How about this? How we can't even go to a freaking restaurant without getting heart disease, number one way to die in this country. Like, we have so much product in our drinks, in our food. They're freaking just killing us by via consumption, that it's just freaking amazing to me. Don't you think that there's more things to worry about, like us getting the COVID again? I know I'm tired of being sick. Are you tired of being sick? Like, how many other things could we be worrying about that than the gun? Is the
That's
gun
true.
putting money in your pocket?
You're right. There is bigger things to worry about.
The
It
gun
is
ain't
gonna
doing
always
nothing for
be bigger
nobody but
things to worry.
taking people's lives.
But at the same time, this is money
Ugh,
that's made for the government on taxing the guns and all that. Because
exactly.
regardless, people are
I
going to
hate to
get
break
them.
it to you, if the government wanted to create something like martial law, whatever, guess what? They're going to do it, and they just did. The COVID happened. Everybody got locked down.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had guns. Everybody can't leave their house. Come on, make it make sense.
Yeah.
I know, like I mean, there's a lot of blanket statements being made, and yes, I think there's a lot of things that need to be handled, but there, it's very difficult. It's
Why?
some. I would ask.
Everybody.
I I'm agreeing with you. I completely agree with you. I
Why
just
is
don't
it the
think
gun
there's.
is the first thing known as a weapon and what is wanting to be getting rid of? Because it's such an easy thing to use. It's such an easy thing to use, and
I
it's
mean,
such an
people keep
easier
talking
way to
about
kill.
segregation. I would like to segregate myself from people with guns. I'm telling you right now. I wish there was a community that was gated, that had a rule. You don't have guns. I swear to God, I would do everything humanly possible to get in there. I'd pay top dollar because I know I could at least go to the grocery store without worrying about somebody's 18-year-old popping off and killing my grandma.
Exactly, literally.
But the
God
issue is that
dang.
you still can get
Have you
guns
had enough?
illegal
Gun
ways.
people,
Like you
gun
still
culture,
get
have you
them.
had enough?
Because
How many kids have to die? How many elderly have to die? How many people of color have to die before you
But everyone
realize
is
that
saying
the
that the
gun has
reasoning
everything
for
to do with
guns
it?
to be here is for protection and protecting yourself. Why do you feel only protected with a gun? There's tasers, there's all that out there.
well, that's
Why
because
does it have to be a
you
lethal
trying to
force?
defend yourself with a person with a gun. I'm gonna say this. All right, I am a person who have a gun. I use this gun for my protection. I am in Louisiana, so of course it's nothing but people that walks with their guns out. I'm not about to sit here and not have a gun to protect myself.
Right. So, but do you understand why you have the gun? Do you
Yes, I do.
Because
understand
others
I
why
have
do.
the
you?
gun. But if the
Exactly.
gun was not
Let's just give
available
her
to
that.
others, you
Listen,
would have what others have, which is a knife or a taser.
Yeah,
listen.
most likely. You're right. I
You
agree.
want Let me just say this: women are not the issue. I've done my homework. Women don't perpetuate violence via the gun at high rates. It's dominated highly by men. This is being done by men. Okay, so women, what can we do? Can I ask you guys a question? What can we do to get these men and young men, especially, to stop doing these hate crimes? I mean, this was a young. Let's not negate the fact that he was a white supremacist. Okay, so can black people? Do we have a say? Can we do anything within the white race to help out? Like, what can we do together to make sure this doesn't happen again? That's my question. And guess what? No laws can make that happen. No, nothing can make that happen but us talking about it and coming together. What can we do? I need your guys' thoughts.
I don't know about that one.
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna lie.
that's
I don't know about that one.
it's so far gone
What
that
can we
it's not
do?
going to be something that instantly you can do.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's going to take
that is the problem.
centuries.
That is the problem. I'm a Girl Scout. Okay, we don't say can't. All right. How many of you guys were Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts? We don't say that we can't. Right. We need to come together and say yes, we can. Yes, we will, and we will not tolerate. We have to have a no tolerance for racism in this country, as well as gun violence. Is
Yeah.
that so much hard to ask for, people?
Listen, I live in the state of Connecticut, and no
Me
other
too.
gun violence was worse than the Newtown shooting with those little
That's right.
babies. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
after that was it. I said, "Come on, we're killing kids." I said, "This has got to stop. This is it, right? You've killed these children. That can't be. This is all. This is the
Yep.
worst that it can get."
I
But
was
no.
working at a hotel, and a lot of the families were there that I checked in, and I was told not to be emotional, not to say anything. My daughter was in the same grade. I'm in Connecticut. I'm not far from Newtown, and people actually had the audacity to say it wasn't real. It was very real, and it was horrible to be in that hotel room knowing that this was a eulogy for a massive number of young children. Okay,
Oh my
They're
kindergartners.
god.
babies. They're babies.
Yeah, they were babies. Um, but people still want to talk about the gun. Could you imagine if one of your kids were in that classroom and lost their life, and people want to say, "Well, I'm still gonna have a gun, and I don't care."
Hmm.
How did he get that gun in Sandy Hook? How did Nick, what you call it? How did he get the guns?
You can get it any type of way.
You can just get it anywhere.
Undercover.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
You can get it any type of way.
Can an 18-year-old buy a gun in New York? Let me know that.
Oh, I
I
don't know.
could walk into Walmart and buy a shotgun right now.
Okay, so
I
that's an
know.
issue. Access, access,
That's the
Exactly.
access
issue.
to the
That's
gun.
the
Listen,
issue.
if you
Yeah.
don't want to get rid of the gun, let's restrict access of all of these
Right.
freaking guns that are around. Let's try to put pressure on the government. You got FBI's. You got why is there a black market? Like, how is that even
Yeah.
allowed?
Exactly,
I
and
think
they
mean,
know
the
about
and
it.
they're
the
gonna
other,
always
yeah.
sell things like
You tell
black
me they
market.
don't have a button? Like I'm a computer geek. Really, believe it or not, I mean, I grew up during the computer age. I'm a
They
millennial.
benefit from it.
So
That's
like,
why
all you gotta do is press a button, turn the power off.
they benefit from
I
it.
think as
The
Nate Dogg
government
was
is
saying,
within the
it's
dark
just too
power.
far gone.
What'd
It's
you say?
too far gone.
It's too
Yeah.
far gone, but
You can't give up.
it's not
Listen, you
gonna it's
can't
not
give
gonna
up.
change while we
You
are
can't give
all
up.
still on this earth. Let's just say that it's not
Yeah.
gonna change while we're all still here. It's not gonna change in 50 years. It's not gonna change in 100. It possibly
Hmm.
can.
I will. Listen, I want to be the Angela Davis of gun control.
I'm saying it's not gonna
Okay,
change
I'm
in full
telling you,
effect.
but I got a little bit of Malcolm X in me, and I got a little bit of Martin Luther King. I'm a little bit of both. Okay, I'm like spread love, but by any means necessary, we must come together. We
People of
must
color
end
were
this
plotted on before
called gun
we even
violence in our
knew it.
country.
People of
Okay,
color
let's
were
talk
plotted
this.
on before we
Let's
even knew
end
it.
racism. If you guys are gonna get, if you're not gonna get rid of guns, can we get rid of racism? Can we do this?
You can
No,
never end something that is
no,
taught. You
they'll
can
never
never.
do
You
that.
can never end something that is
Never.
taught.
The too many people are profiting off of
So,
racism. There's
so
no
what
way
you're
that'll
saying
ever
is,
end.
because you don't speak for me, although I respect everybody that comes here, and I love
I don't believe racism is taught though.
But I
I
listen, and
do.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. But what I'm saying is, in my life, I say that I'm not. I don't have a tolerance for it. Like I do believe that we can make a change. We have made a change. We continue to make change. We have progressed. We went to a point 50 years ago where my mother was born. She had to be born in a black unit, away from white people having babies. They segregated the hospital. They segregated the restaurant. They segregated everything. My mother right now is turning up in a freaking club. I guarantee you in Hawaii. Okay, twerking. Right. So
It's not up,
to
but
say
it's
that we
not
haven't
up
made a
to
change,
black
we
people to
got a
get rid of
black judge in the
racism.
Supreme Court. Our president promoted her, said she was overqualified. To be honest, Katani
Yeah.
Jackson. We have a black and Asian woman. I don't know where Asia's at. They should be promoting for Kamala Harris. I mean, she's the first Asian vice president
Yeah.
too, and I don't really hear them say anything. They don't want to claim her. I guess I don't know, but she's a woman. She's black. She's Asian. She's the first vice president to have existed here in the United States of America. We are progressing, but there has to be somebody that is the hero. Where are the heroes with the guns? Okay, how many of
It's
people
not
were
us.
in New York, Buffalo with guns and couldn't intervene and weren't there? You know what I'm saying? You can't just blame the cops. Where are all these people? 398 million guns in this country. Where were all these legal-abiding citizens at the moment? Ain't nobody at the grocery store had a gun. Where was the security guard? Did he not have a gun?
No security
It's
guards
not
don't
up
have
to
them.
us. It's not up to us to get rid of racism. I'm sorry, we're the wrong audience. It's not up to us.
I agree
Racism will
with you.
always
I
exist.
agree
It's
with
not
that.
taught because I know people who have racist parents and they disagree with their parents, don't speak to their
Oh
parents.
yeah.
They
No,
don't
I'm not
agree.
saying that, but
No, but I'm saying
who?
to the comments, people are saying it's
Oh,
taught.
okay.
It's
Okay.
not taught. It's something that is just a point of view on life that people feel that they've been wronged or done. And some people even have a point of view of being taught about slavery and that they still have an upper hand against people of color because of that. And being reminded of that consistently, they just feel they already know that people of color have been put a step back in the world centuries ago. So, I mean,
And I promise you, white people know more about black people than we know ourselves. I promise
mhm.
you that. So when they start asking about this, oh, I don't understand this, and I don't, please miss me with all of that. Y'all know more about us than we will ever know about ourselves. So that to me, it's up when we teach, racism in school and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Half of these kids already know what's going on. A lot of people just choose to be ignorant.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they say we are the ignorant ones. You gotta
Yeah,
remember.
we're the ignorant
Yeah.
ones. We're the
Well,
ones,
I just want to say
going
this
through this.
Right.
again. You're right. I just want to say this again. But what I can do, and this is when some black people get mad at me, when I say you can't blame a whole race from what one individual did. You can't do that. But what we can do is put pressure on the white race and say, have no tolerance for racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make
Right.
sure that you're putting pressure on people like Tucker Carlson, who is
Exactly.
a magnet
Tucker
for
Klansman.
yeah, you see, and then people like PragerU. Who gives a dang about Candace Owens? Who's hired her? PragerU. Dennis Prager has hired all of these people that spew racist rhetoric And Donald Trump's son is in the mix of that. He's hired by PragerU. Get rid of these people with money, with power, that
Yeah.
create these incubators of racism, and they
Exactly.
make it cool. They normalize it. There needs to be a law in place that says if you are spilling racist rhetoric,
Yeah.
that could be criminal, because
That's
guess what?
Exactly.
true.
Race is a protected class. It really is. And I don't
True.
think that hating white people is going to fix anything. We need to, black people to me are the most loving race in this world. Go run and tell that. We really are just tired of it. I can't believe we haven't retaliated, to be honest. We just keep on like saying, please stop killing us. Please stop killing us. Please stop killing us. But we have guns, but we don't go after them. We go after each other, to be honest, statistically. So I just want us to just wake up and try to get more out. Make it normal for white people to rally against us. Like, I know that there's a like, oh, white savior. Some racist white people hate white liberals since day one, because they are the ones that are helping, the leftists are helping get rid of racism. We really got to rally around them. And I just don't see that on the right politically. Jay, Deal, do you have anything to say?
I have to say I agree with the gun control. I do think this country does need gun control. I just don't understand. Like I live in the South. I'm from Georgia, so I talk to a lot of white Southerners, and they say the same stupid thing over and over again. How much they say, oh, they're gonna take our guns away, but that's not what gun control does. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that. And it's just so frustrating because it's just like this America is built on guns, and it's just, what's going to happen when sorry what's
Okay.
going to happen when like they're not going to do anything unless a big mass shooter shoots multiple people. Let's say they killed 1,000 people. That's
Right.
when they want to do something about gun control. Mass shootings are going to happen over and over and over again throughout the years. It's going to keep happening until we have gun control. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. If we don't have gun control, how can we get these laws pushed in order to create change? Not only the laws pushed, but also people in power that are going to be able to have the money to build infrastructures within our community that are going to create change. Hi, Kevin.
All right.
I can't hear you, Kevin. Oh, no. Kevin, I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Kevin. By the way, I know this is off topic, but I think somebody that I talked to here, do you know some TikTokers will stop talking? Some of them died. Some TikTok creators have died. I believe this one guy. I'll get his name. I really want to know if he's okay. I'll talk about it later on tonight. But it really is sad to me. I just really just want us to rally around each other. I want to spread love, most importantly, because I do
Mm-hmm.
think it's the cure. Um, I think white people that are racist are scared, and I really think black people can reinstate inclusiveness so that they don't feel this need to be scared. But I do believe we got to start tackling our homicidal rates. Okay. And that is bringing forth awareness, or maybe creating a new culture where we don't brag about the gun, and we don't make it a part of our culture. Um, because due
Right.
to proximity, we're using it against each other, right? It's not to attack black people. White people use the gun more than us, to be honest. There's more of them, okay? But there's not a lot of us, and we're creating a lot of issues within our own communities. What can we do? I'm not telling you to not protect your families. I'm not telling you to not protect yourself. But what I'm saying is make a choice not to kill your brother. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, are you not able to speak? Because I really wanted to hear what you had to say. I can't hear you, love. Oh, that really come. Try to get off and come back on. Okay, I can't hear you. I can't hear him. Oh, dang. All right, so let's hear a few more.
Okay, let me have here and say something. I think there's a lot of unresponsible gun owners. Like, as if you're a responsible gun owner, like, um you shouldn't be flexing your gun. You shouldn't be killing your neighbors, right? And I think a lot of the solution. I don't necessarily agree with gun control, right?
If you
I
don't
don't
have gun
necessarily
control,
agree
what
with
else are
gun
you gonna
control.
have?
I believe
Control them.
in a different solution. Community policing. I believe in
That's gun
increasing
control.
police presence, especially in a gun free zone. Like a church. Like there's literally last week my church was shut up. Like, imagine
Okay.
just going to church and try to worship, and nobody there really brings gun. They live in the vehicle, and the church was shut up.
Yeah,
And
these
then
are
there was a
vulnerable
couple.
people. they always try to target vulnerable people. They're at a parade,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
at the movies, they're relaxed, they're not thinking they're in danger, that they're mall shopping, and then they lose their lives because that vulnerability shows that is a deflection. That is a reflection off of how these people are. They don't want to go to people that have guns and have a real fight. They're going to the weakest people because of their vulnerability and taking their lives.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like school
And
shooters and all that.
Yeah, schools. You're at schools. You wouldn't think that you're going to get shot at school, and then there you go. I mean, I don't want to give any other ideas, but there's other public places that are supposed to be peaceful, and they're not because people are misusing the gun. Kevin, can we hear you now? Still can't. Lady, are
Kevin,
you there?
press multi-guess on the bottom, hit the mute button, and then hit it again.
Yeah, and also I really want to hear what Lady has to say. I've listened to a lot of perspectives with people of my race that I share, but I really want to hear a different perspective, or not a different perspective, a perspective from
You there,
a
Kevin?
person, a part of the white race, and what do they have to say about white supremacy being attached to this? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. So I am actually white passing. My mom is African American.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It comes with the territory. Dad's genes were strong. The force was strong with that one. But growing up, I did grow up on Section 8. My dad died when I was 6. His side of the family, I don't know what happened, but he had a falling out with his brothers, so they were never around. So I grew up on, with the black side of my family, and they are, you have the good half. My grandpa, their side of the family is amazing, and then you have my grandma. I call them evil. That's just because of their personalities. But growing up, my mom really did feel that me being white passing was a shield because my mom grew up during the civil rights era. And she said this was a shield because of the things that she's experienced as a Black woman growing up in this country. She was really hoping that I wouldn't go through the same things that she did. She was really
So
hoping
you're
that.
claiming privilege.
Right, exactly. Like this shield would give me that privilege of not being shot for being pulled over by the police officer for a bogus reason. But me being proud of my heritage and me being proud of being biracial, I told anyone who would listen, especially growing up. And that got met with a lot, including, especially in college, this one girl who was my quote unquote friend told me that if we ever did a girls trip, I couldn't come to her house because the Grand Wizard lived down the street and she didn't know what would happen to me if they found out I was white passing because I am an abomination. I'm an it. You shouldn't cross breeds. So she couldn't guarantee my safety.
Wow.
And
well, there you go. You have it. Living proof of somebody that has white privilege being able to assimilate in the public. I mean, when you saw Christopher, last person that he did not shoot them because he saw that they were white, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah,
literally.
In the video, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to say something too.
Go ahead.
All right, but like how the media is going, how they betraying and showing these people face, everyone's that's doing mass shootings, their face, their name, their character, their background, their origin story is being told over the media. I don't believe how I feel. It's for their community that they're coming from, so they could get more spotlight to it. Just like that video that's going around that everyone's seeing. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that evilness. I don't want to see that. But hold on. Because it's
for him. Well, how would you? I'm trying to think of a solution here. How? Because you have a good point. How do you think they should present it? They shouldn't bring his face or.
They should, but not all these not these multiple different pictures. Let us just get one look at him. We don't need all these different. He's not famous in our community.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's famous and he's becoming championed in his community.
Yeah.
Okay, because you see how our Black community, we have our gangs, we have our own problems, our own stupidity going on. They do too, but we're being indicted, we're being investigated, we're being convicted, we're being tried, we're being persecuted about our actions, our communities, our movements that we're coming together and having in our community that they feel is illegal activity, that they feel is whatever the case may be. Okay, they can feel like that, but why aren't they RICO charges against the Proud Boys, Antifa, things of that nature? Where's the wiretaps for these guys? Where's the the forums, these pages, these websites, all this
Yes,
information
yes.
that's continuing to be on. Why is this not being reported? Why is this? Why are these guys that's higher up in power? They know the faces, they know the names, they know the address, they know where these meetings going on. Who knows? How I feel in my mind, I feel like they could even be possibly going to fucking elementary schools, high schools, and trying to cultivate children.
Right.
How do we know what's really going on? How do we really know what's going on? And at the same
I think
time,
red flag
the
laws. You're making
one
some.
last
You
point: the
gave me the Holy
police.
Spirit.
Look at how the police, the origin of the police, in the United States of America is a gang that's on this type of time, this type of behavior. This man didn't get punched, kicked in the face by no police, shot nothing.
Right.
Same thing with the dude that
very
shot the
telling.
people up in the church. They took him to Burger King.
Right.
If I argue, listen, man, this is my point. This is a real fact. If I argue with my wife or if I argue with my neighbor, it's a good chance I could get shot by the police.
Yeah.
And I don't have a weapon.
No, but this is what I want to know for you people in the comments. I keep bringing up black proximity crime. I don't like to say black on black crime because I'm a person who has been changed from doing this. I've listened to my people. They're the black on black thing, they don't want me to say it, but there is black crime within proximity, and that's in every race, in every community, in every demographic. 70% of all races tend to hurt their own people because they live next door. But what I want to know is, why would you like to use a whataboutism at this point? This boy clearly had a manifesto. He premeditated killing black people and targeting them at the grocery store during a vulnerable hour and killed older people. This was a race-driven crime. So why then bring up black proximity crime? Because if you're going to talk about that, then we need to talk about white proximity crime and Asian proximity crime. 70% of all crime, it usually is done within the same race. So when you're saying black on black crime, you're not really saying anything, is what I'm saying. It's kind of like the all lives matter. Where are they now? You're not really saying anything. It doesn't have any substance, is what I'm saying. Too lovely, Livy. What's up, sis? How are you doing?
Hey, love. How are you today?
Good. I'm actually happy to see you. What do you have to say about this? Because we've talked before.
Honey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna try my best not to say anything that is going to affect your live right now.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm gonna try, and if to be honest, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. If I do get out of line, just throw me out.
Wait. Just think about it before you say it, please.
Okay,
I don't want you to be flagged, or I don't want to be in trouble. Is there a way that you could say what you want to say eloquently?
I usually do, but I'm so livid right now.
Can I ask you a question though? Did you watch the video?
I didn't. I don't want to go there because you know what I mean, right?
Bad.
And that's my point. Is that like the
I
fact
feel
that
like it should be taken down.
Hold on a second, sweetheart. Please. I'm sorry. I know you spoke. Thank you. I just have something I have to say, and then absolutely, please go ahead with your point. Okay.
Hey, I ain't spoke yet.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. She did acknowledge me. Now, can I say something?
Yeah,
and then absolutely okay. I'm just trying to be fair. Absolutely no problem. I just don't understand why we have to have this conversation. Why is this even a conversation? How is it possible that we all cannot be on the same page about what happened here? How it's literally right in front of us. It's in your face, and the willful ignorance is. I'm over it. I'm personally over it. Why is it that we can learn so much about your history from the generations to the generations to the generations? We are constantly told that we are the violent ones, yet I'm sorry, but white people have a history of violence towards the world, towards the world.
But I just want to say this: it is very important to say
going on.
White people are a protected class. They are. So we have to be very careful not to generate and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but discrimination it doesn't have it's inclusive. So there's a lot of white people that were a part of the BLM that are allies that want nothing to do with this young kid.
For a second? Can I interject on that?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'm not going to keep doing, some white people. I'm not going to keep doing that because honestly, you already know if it does not apply, let that fly. So, and when I'm responding in regards to the white supremacy of the world, you all should know what I'm talking about.
We do.
This is
We
not a
absolutely do.
situation of, oh, well, I have some individuals over here who are great to Black people all the time. And great, that's fantastic. I hope you're doing more than just being great to that small clad of Black folks, excuse me, Black people that you know,
Yeah.
because it's getting old. This, honestly, I'm at a place where, and I'm sorry, I'm for either leaving or evolution with an R. And I'm sorry. I hate that I'm here. I hate
That's
that I'm
right.
here. I grew up, to be honest. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a background about Miss To Live right now, okay? I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, the hoi polloi of the United States of America, okay?
Most
Where it
racist
all
question ever.
began. Okay, I grew up with all little white children. White children were my best friends. My best friend. Are you hearing me? Ashlyn Quinn and Emily Palmer, and I'm gonna put their name out there right now because these were my childhood friends who loved me and I loved them. And as I grew and I grew and I grew, and I started to see the actual hate that was for my people for literally no reason.
For existing.
And it's astounding. It's absolutely astounding to where I can't keep giving Brutus the knife to plunge into my back another 42 times. Okay? I know something about your history. Learn a little bit about mine. You have known us for over 400 plus years, and you still act as if you don't know a thing about us or how to deal with us or how to teach your children how to deal with us in a civilized manner.
Absolutely.
That
And
wasn't
I
Augustus,
applaud
it
you
was
for it.
Julius Caesar. Know your facts. Julius Caesar was stabbed in the back 42 times by the Senate, including one who was supposed to be his son, his adopted stepson, but he turned on him. Brutus, know your history. Thank you.
Good, good, great,
Hey, you
great.
know something I just
Kevin's
realized?
here. He
You know
finally
something I
made it.
just
Thank you,
realized?
sis. Thank you
You
so
can hear
much.
me now?
Yeah, we can
Hey,
hear you now.
you know something I
All
just realized?
right.
Hey,
Yeah.
I ain't say nothing yet. Hold on. Hold
Oh,
on.
go ahead.
The last one skipped me too. Okay, but you know something I just realized? Okay, I seen a bunch of white males has been doing this. Has a white female ever done this?
I believe there was one a girl. She did an elementary school that I
Oh,
read
she did
years
an
ago.
elementary school.
Yeah, she did. It was
Oh,
a
she going to
girl.
the
I think
worst pit
her
of hell.
parents
What's
were
wrong with
teachers
her?
there, a teacher there or something, and she grown resentment, I guess, for the kids and decided to do it. But it's very rare.
Oh, she gonna be in
Mhm.
hell forever. See, yep,
Yeah,
never mind. I was trying to
yeah.
say something special about them, but they just as bad.
Well, what I want to say is like 90% of these the violence that's in this world. Look at Putin. Okay, uh,
Right.
happening because of men. Okay, so there's something going on with the gender, the male gender, that there's a need to react in such a violent way. Is it testosterone? Is it the what is it the dominating? What is it, Kevin?
Dominating power. That's it right at the bottom line. Power. The reason why we have this problem in this country, everybody blaming the little people who have no control, is not them. It's the people in power. I hate to say it, it's the YT that's in power and they want to keep it that way. That is the problem. You guys you're arguing the little point. It's not about the guns. It's not the guns that's doing the killing. It's the people in power that's pushing the narrative. They got bolder when that Mr. TRUMP got in there and told them it's okay to kill people of color. I don't care. You're gonna say, "Oh, it's not me." Your leader is pushing the narrative. Your leaders, the
Right.
senator, the
But Kevin,
congressman.
can I say this? And I have to say that there could be some truth to that because where
It
there's
is
smoke,
truth to
there.
it.
I'm saying that I agree with you on some standpoint of what you said, but why? How do we tackle that when we do it to ourselves as well? I mean, we can't negate the fact that within
Hold
inner
on,
cities,
I got a
I know
question.
They
why
saying it can't be
because of
changed. The reason why it can't be
mobility
changed because of people in power.
Hold on.
economically due to mobility. I know that there's reasons why these young men are trying to gain power in their own right.
You're
That's the
right.
only way that they can gain that power is to have that protection for their communities and load up. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
100%
that's small
get that.
though.
Wait,
That's the small picture.
has a black person ever shot a bunch of white people, or is that just a white thing?
Right. That's a really good question.
It's very rare.
Because I don't think black people do that.
It's
I don't
very
think so
rare. That's what I'm saying.
either.
It would be very rare. That would be an anomaly. If that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, yeah, there has
It's a
been cases,
narrative.
but it is rare.
So when we talking about men, we gotta specifically say white men because you don't
But you
see
can't
ethnic
say
men
that.
doing that
You
shit.
because they'll kick you off of TikTok.
No, what I'm telling you, well, Kevin, I have to say this.
Nigga, I don't. I got 2,000 followers. You think I care about
Okay,
getting
well, I
kicked off?
got almost. Listen, I'm trying to get to 100,000. Okay, I'm
Right,
5,000
there you
off.
go.
Let me
Exactly.
tell you this. What I want to say is this. It is really not just a white person thing. Okay, Black people also misuse the gun. Black people are also a part of
But
Black.
it's not about the
Black
guns. That's where you're
people
missing the
in the
point.
country are also Americans who have adopted this. You have a gun, you're like invincible or something like that. It's
Right, but
a
right,
fear complex when
exactly.
you have a gun.
Exactly.
Listen, I
But
don't
that
have
we're
a
not
gun. I
arguing
don't
that
need to
though.
have it because I already naturally have a confident mentality. I don't
Right.
need a gun to make me
Right.
feel like
Ex-
I'm sex with somebody. Listen,
exactly.
if you try to freaking get me, I'm gonna use these guns on you.
Yeah.
I don't
right.
use our fists. I'm not
Right.
afraid to use my fists. I'm
Right.
not afraid to use whatever I got in me. I don't feel like
Right.
I need a gun. And most importantly, I use my mind. Okay,
Right.
I'm not gonna go
Exactly.
into a situation that I know I'm
So
gonna
use
die.
your mind. So use your mind.
Right.
You're talking about the small picture.
Right.
The guns is not the problem. It's the problem is the people in power. This is yes, the guns are a problem,
Yeah.
but the main narrative is why are these people shooting? Even if they didn't have guns, they would beat the shit out of us with clubs. That's what the problem is. The racism is what the point is
Okay.
what we're trying to get across. Not about the guns,
Well,
because they
listen.
could beat the hell out of you
What I
with
want
clubs
to say
too.
is, what I want
They
to say
can burn your house down.
you have a part of it, and that's why I continue to say we have to have a holistic approach. Okay, it's racism, it's the gun, it's the
Right.
culture, it's
Right.
the law, it's
Right.
it's
Exactly.
economical reasons, mobility, all of it.
Exactly.
It's a whole
And,
incubation in
and what does
society
it boil
that
down
needs to
to?
be addressed. Yeah,
What does
and
it
it's
boil
not gonna
down
happen.
to?
Listen, I'm not gonna say that gun violence in this country, via white or black, it doesn't matter. Mexican,
Right.
everybody's using a gun.
It all matters.
Everybody's misusing it. But what I'm saying is,
Right.
I would never say that we can never tackle it because I believe that we can.
We
If we start
can.
fighting and we start
We
loving each other
can.
more and we start creating more other ways to handle anger. If you are
Right. Like I
angry
said,
at somebody, that doesn't mean you go get
yeah,
a gun and go kill
but
them.
you're not going to change people's emotions and feelings. The problem is power. The people in power control the narrative. It's
Okay, Kevin,
16% of
I'm gonna
it's
I'm gonna put
16% of
Kevin,
the world.
Kevin,
Listen, lady, I'm 60 years old. I'm telling you, 16% of the world is YT. Those 16% control 84% of the world.
That's true.
They can change it. They don't want to.
Yeah, they're
You know
minorities.
what I'm
Go
saying?
ahead.
They can fix it.
They
They're
could.
the ones who
So
broke it.
Kevin, can I ask you a question? If let's just say somebody, George Soros saw me or something like that, and he decided to give me $1 billion, okay,
Right.
to tackle gun violence. Okay, if I gave you $100 million, do you think that you would be able to have power? And do you think you'd be able to make a change? Do you think money could solve all this?
No.
Well, there's a point that yeah, but it would take not 100 million, not a trillion, probably more money than you can freaking count. There's on this planet. It was the only way to fix it, unless you become the people in power. It's the people in power that's controlling the narrative. It's the man at the top.
Not gang members, not criminals, not mentally ill.
No, none of them can control it. Nothing can fix it. The only thing that can fix it is the top,
You're
top
back.
down.
Hopefully to
If you
add
go to
to
any
this.
other country, have you been outside the United States? It's the people in
out of
power.
the United States now.
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can go anywhere else in the world. No place is. I don't care how the racism is nowhere near like it is in the United States. The United States puts out propaganda. They tell other countries. They put on their media. People are taught in Germany about black people in America being no good, that we're trash. It's put out by our leaders. to other countries about us. We're no good.
I think that takes off the accountability.
And it's in the
Listen,
medium. It's
I,
all.
I think we're all the problem. SBD,
Can I
do
just
you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something really quick that's really like bugging the hell out of me. With the people that's hopping on with you, Andrea, also, and people in the comments that keep, if we're going to talk about the situation that happened, what are we bringing up whataboutisms for?
Yeah.
What about black
Yeah,
on
that's
black crime?
bullcrap.
What about
Exactly.
proximity crime? What about
Exactly.
the subway shooter? What about the person that drove through the parade in Kenosha?
Right. That has nothing
None
to
of
do with
that
it.
None of
Right.
that has to do with what that white man, and please stop calling him a boy, that
Right.
grown ass white man. None of that matters right now except for what he did. All of that is a deflection and whataboutism that doesn't help the situation whatsoever.
Right.
So
I
let's
agree.
stop painting him in the light of a young, brainwashed boy
Yeah.
when our black and brown boys are looked at as grown men from the age of 12. Tamir Rice was looked at as a 22-year-old grown man at the age of
Exactly.
12.
Exactly.
So
It's the
let's stop the
that's what we're
whataboutism.
trying to get at. Tell you, it's the narrative. We're talking about the main picture. All those little small incidents. It's not you understand the whole. You see, the media is in on it because they got power, the money. The media. I'm gonna tell you, this guy. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. O.J. Simpson. Okay, he killed 2 white people. Right, his face was on the news within minutes.
Well,
Following him. Okay? Now look. This white boy, he went in and shot up 10, killed 10 people, and I don't know how many more he shot. They would not show his face. They would not put his mugshot up. They would not say his name. It took like 24 hours before they even stated his name. Or even, they was acting like they didn't even know who he was. You see what I'm saying? It's all biased. You understand? It's all from the narrative. It's from the top. It's the people that got the money, yes, is controlling all of this. And that's what y'all not seeing. It's the power.
That's
It's
a
the
valid
people in
point.
power. All the
Pink,
media is in on it.
Grubel, girl, this is the last one, and I'll
Mm.
let Kevin close this out. Do you have anything to say about this unfortunate tragedy that's happening again here in our country?
Yeah, it's passed down through generations.
I do. It's disgusting. I am mortified. I am in my 40s and I am just now going down the path of learning more about, like yesterday, I learned about microaggression. And because I didn't quite understand it. Now, mind you, I come from a Puerto Rican side and a German side, right? And so I grew up with a lot of racism, right? And it never felt like, it just wasn't me. I've always felt like it was wrong. And so I have tried very hard in my life to be just the kindest, gentlest, most genuine human being I possibly can. And so when that was brought to my attention that this is something that exists, I was really confused by it, right? Because obviously I've lived kind of in a bubble. And so this morning, so I watched excuse me, let me go back. I watched another young lady. It's like some Glam Sparkle or something like that. The woman that was just on the 2 something, she was on there last night, and I just listened. And so I inquired out of another girlfriend of mine, um, because I could have a genuine conversation and ask the questions that I didn't understand, and she was able to explain to me exactly what it is and how it's perceived and why. And I know that, Kevin said that it's like a top down, but I semi agree, but I think that it's an all around, all encompassing issue.
Yeah.
And that,
But you can't change it from down below. It's got to be top down because that's who's doing it.
Yeah, Kevin is really strong on that, but I have to say I agree with you, love. We have to take a holistic approach, and I got that from a police chief that was on Dr. Phil because he did a whole segment on gun violence, and I definitely watched it. It was juicy, and I actually posted about it too. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Are you? So you are how do you think this is going to affect Americans today? I'm supposed to go grocery shopping today. I'm not going grocery shopping.
I would be terrified.
I mean, to think that this could still happen. Is this going to be a trend?
I hope not. I hope not, but
it
because
is a
white
trend.
people aren't safe. Listen, white people are not safe. If you're white right now, you're like, well, it happened to black people. They're trying to talk. They're doing it again. Listen, white people also got shot.
Yes.
So nobody's safe. We all have to be on board with gun control. What's wrong with you guys?
Some insane stipulations put into place. It's always been my opinion that like you shouldn't even be able to have a gun until your brain is fully formed. 25.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's
you
a
took
whole
psychology
that's
probably
a whole
101.
nother thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Gun control. Why isn't there gun control? Because you don't have enough money to change it. The people who got the money will change that. But as long as the ATF is paying the president, as long as the freaking NRA is paying the senators, you're not going to get gun control. That's how it works.
I believe being a spokesperson, all of us have a duty to speak up for what we need to be a part of gun control. I do think that inner cities need to be swept. Okay, it's not okay for these criminals to get away with crimes because they're in an incubation where the laws aren't being enforced. Okay,
right.
The only way that they protect it is say, well, Chicago has the strictest gun laws, and look
And
what's
look,
going
they
on.
dying every day, millions of.
Yeah, people are dying. Just let that sink in for a bit. Okay, so they have
Gun
this
control didn't work.
laws, but yet people are dying at high rates and crime is running rapid. Gun violence on the uptick. Are the police even doing their jobs?
See what I'm saying? So now you're starting to see the bigger picture. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The problem is the ones who's pushing that narrative. They got all the money, and all the people who make the guns got all the money. So they control. Our laws are passing. See, a lot of people think their vote counts. It doesn't. Whoever got the most money, that's what laws pass.
There's got to be some truth to that.
It is. I'm telling you, that's how it works. I've been dealing with it for 40, 50, fighting these politicians for years.
Because real estate is where I make my money. I got some closings going up. I got to show houses.
The only way you got power is
if
you
you
got
guys
real
want to
estate.
know how to buy land and all that, you just let me know. Because I know somebody came here earlier and said, Drea, you always talking about societal change, but why don't you tell us how to make some money? Well, I can do that too.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, we can tell you about it. In fact,
I can do that too.
If we did it together, if we all put our money together, we could probably buy towns.
Oh heck, it'd be powerful. We could change things. We could change the world, but they keep us divided, so that won't happen.
I really appreciate
That's part of the narrative.
I wouldn't have a platform if you guys weren't involved. I have to thank you guys.
Exactly.
And for anybody here that thinks I have ill intentions in this, how? I don't understand.
You're altruistic. You want good for all. You're altruistic. You want good for all. You want to change the world. That's the type of person I like. You're tired of it. I've been tired of it. That's why I left the USA.
And you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to be honest. I do have survival guilt, and I really shouldn't. But, my idol is Oprah. And I'm pretty sure all of us loved her.
Against all odds. Against all odds, she made it. Against all odds, she made it.
And there was times where she did get emotional, and I do try to hold my tears back. But if you guys don't understand this, I watched that video. It's in my phone. I literally saw these people lose their life within seconds. They didn't even get a chance to say, "Wait, no, stop." They were old. A lot of these people were
all of them senior citizens. Yes, like myself.
Some of them were in the aisle just pushing their groceries, and they looked it up. Bop.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have a chance, a shot, and he overkilled some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple shots in some of them. This guy and guess what? He's a part of gun control. Gun control.
And this is the only country where everybody pretty much got a gun. This is the only country. Nobody else anywhere in the world have guns. It's just here. That's what I'm saying. This country is effed up. It's from the top down.
At this point, I think it's imperative that every mother, I think this could work if every mother and father, okay, comes together and has, like, in every town, in every community, in every state, goes to their kids and gives them gun control 101 lessons. If you are not going to get rid of your guns, at least make sure you're monitoring your freaking young sons that are popping off.
Right. So my husband's military, right? And so from a very young age, my children were taught first and foremost how precious life grand totality is, right? Like everyone and everything is precious, right? And then of course was taught appropriate control and understanding what a weapon is and what specifically it's used for. And neither one of my sons, they're not really all that interested. They're like, I could care less. I know that it's here for hunting and for protection, but because of what their father has had to endure and how it affected him, having been over, serving in OIF and OEF, my husband came back a completely different person. He left this amazing, wonderful, kind, gentle person. That's not who came back to me. Wow. Right. And he expressed that to our sons. Like it was not swept under the rug. It was front and center. Like taking someone's life does something to you, right? You can never go back from that. But yes, everyone's got to come together, mothers, fathers, and then additional, like I believe it takes a village, right? So aunts, uncle, right? But yeah, so that's just again, I appreciate you. I'm gonna jump out so that somebody.
You are right, though. You're right.
Kevin,
you're right.
I don't
You're
know why
right
I
too.
disrespect you. This is the first
You're
time I
all
met you.
right. You're
Everybody
all
keeps
right.
calling him Snoop Dogg. Y'all gotta stop. Come on, stop calling him Snoop Dogg.
I get that all the time. I get that all the
You better
time.
look like Snoop Dogg, though.
I get that all the time. I'm used to it now.
Spread love, point blank, period. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody's right. Everybody's right, but the picture is much bigger. Everybody's correct, though. You know, like I said, the main thing, the narrative is keeping us down, split apart. Like I said, the main thing, the narrative is keeping us down, split apart. Like I said, the main thing, the narrative is keeping us down, split apart.